money.
Yeah. Anyhow, they're pretty, they may be a tad overcomplicated, you know, really, but it's all well put together.
KI4 SBQ at 6:01 Sunday,
November 10, 2024, and we've got 57 degrees in the upstate of South Carolina with 63% humidity. It looks like it's going to be a glorious Sunday. Good morning.
KM4AH.
Candy, good Lord, y'all, 57 degrees. I got 40 or maybe 41. Man.
Well, my dog caught another squirrel yesterday evening and killed him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I figured he done got
Too old to be able to do it, but yeah, he come back.
If that gets out over the internet, your ass is in trouble.
Well, that's about the fourth one.
Oh, I wouldn't let people know that.
Well, I ain't crazy about squirrels. They're destructive little bastards, but
You saw what happened to that man's squirrel got killed. They took his squirrel and killed it.
I know.
And by God, all hell rained down on them.
Yeah.
That was stupid.
Who was it that did it? Was it like a animal enforcement?
Yeah. They had absolutely no authority whatsoever to bust into his damn house and do what they did, but they did it.
What, some Karen call them about it?
That's what the claim is, and they uncovered who she was, and God Almighty, I wouldn't want to be her.
What are you talking about? I heard somebody else talking about that. What you talking about? They busting this body? What's the deal on that?
Okay, this guy had a YouTube and Twitter and all of that account, and he had a squirrel that he had saved. It was a baby, and he saved it, and it became a pet. And for I don't know how many years he's been on, YouTube with his pet squirrel, and beloved by millions of people that follow it. And some Karen turned him in and complained about his inhumane treatment or something, and the damn locals busted in his house, tore his house all to hell, took the squirrel and the baby raccoon he had, or a raccoon, and they killed them both under the auspices of making sure they didn't have damn, diseases, and it went out on the internet, and all hell broke loose.
God almighty. Damn Karen will mess up anything.
Yeah.
I had a damn little shouting match with a damn male Karen just this past week while I was out in the dump truck about me cleaning the asphalt off on the back of the truck, and it leaves a little bit of residue there on the ground there up underneath. He pulled up raging hell about that, and I got him. I went off on his ass.
I don't even have to leave the shack to catch Karens on me all the time.
Yeah, you're right, ain't you?
Yeah.
What was his complaint? I mean, what does he think supposed to come out of an asphalt truck?
Well, I'll usually try to find me a place,
To where nobody can get upset or whatever. And that's where I was at. I was on the side of a damn ramp, and I was on the dirt part off the asphalt. And he stopped and rolled down the passenger window and said, "You're making a mess right there." And I thought, he ought to have a pistol in there, but I could tell he kind of won't, he won't that kind of, going to pull a pistol and shoot me through the passenger window. I said, "Man, you ain't got nothing better to do than this right here."
Well, you should have been filling potholes with that damn stuff. That's the problem.
Do you not carry a gun?
maybe that's what he was getting at. I don't know. What'd you say, Ray?
Do you not carry a gun?
Big son of a bitch in there.
That's what I don't go nowhere anymore without one.
There you go.
The thing about it is I really serious. My son told me there ain't no such a damn thing. I said I'm pretty sure there is a law, and I mean all across the United States that you are not supposed to have a firearm in a commercial vehicle. And I'm thinking I don't give a damn.
Yeah. Better ask for forgiveness and permission.
I ain't never heard that law.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you take a man that pulls off on a ramp on the side of the road and gets 8 hours of sleep or whatever, and you gonna tell me he's supposed to be in there and got no protection whatsoever?
Well, that's what they would expect. I mean, I know that in all rock quarries where there's going to be blasting that's taking place, there are no firearms allowed on the property at all. You know, because they think, well, if somebody shoots and it explodes, people could be killed. So I know that's a fact, but, you know, I swear I read that somewhere, that the commercial vehicle is not supposed to be a firearm carried in. But I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't care, man. There's too many crazy folks out there.
I'm not sure about what you're suggesting. I think you're okay with it.
The only reason I ain't checked into it to find out whether I'm right or wrong is because I ain't gonna change up. And if they say I can't tow one, that's the day I'm not gonna go back out there in a truck no more.
Well, I don't know what North Carolina law is anymore because so much has been changing, you know, in recent years. But I don't know.
You know, I was in the Bob Marshall Wilderness, which is in Montana, up in the Lewis and Clark National Forest, and bow hunting for elk. And one of the Montana wildlife people come up and talked to me for a few minutes. He said, you know, you're crazy to be up in here without a sidearm.
Yes, buddy.
What, you mean up there right where there's goddamn brown bears or grizzly bears or something like that?
Oh, yeah, mountain lions, too.
They get your ass. Do you see who was talking about it? Was it a mountain lion or what was it? Attacked a man. He was jogging or he grabbed that damn thing by the throat and strangled the damn thing to damn death.
I thought I heard something about that.
Well, there was a hunter that hunted with the guy or the outfitter that I hunted with. He had a mountain lion, got after him, a young one that basically about starved to death. But he got after him, and hell, he beat him to death with a stick. Or I don't know, what do you call something that's between a stick and a log? Anyhow, he beat him to death with a piece of wood.
I'll be damned. I would not want to be put to trial like that. No, thank you, because a cat will tear your ass up. Even a house cat will tear you up.
You seen that there's still pictures, because they go back before everybody had cell phones and stuff, but there's a series of pictures where a mule and a pack train killed a mountain lion.
Yeah. Have you seen the videos of that man who, I don't know what he was doing, but anyway, something with the cat. And the cat crawled up between his pant leg and his leg, and that cat was tearing that man to freaking damn shreds. There was nothing he could do. It was up there in his pant leg just ripping him to pieces.
Do you see that photo of that deer down there in Florida? I would imagine that snakehead.
Yes, I have seen these pictures, yes.
There's another one, too, where that big old snapping turtle had a duck by the foot.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Somebody with a fisherman got it loose from it.
Those damn big old snakes getting people's dogs and all kind of stuff.
I guess you can kill one of them at will, can't you? KM4AH.
Yeah, I think there's a bounty on them, too, in Florida, KI4SVQ.
Yeah, K4KMB. Yeah, it's the same thing on them snakes down there. Same thing with coyotes around here. You know, you can hunt them things at night. You can hunt them on Sunday. You can use electronic calls. You can use anything. They just want you to kill them.
Well, in South Carolina, they've released them in each of the hunting zones. They've released them with tags. And if you present one to the wildlife department, you get a free lifetime hunting and fishing license. They want them coyotes killed.
Hey, Ken, you know you get a free lifetime hunting license when you turn 70?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, sure do.
Yeah.
I got one this year. I was planning on going fishing, and then I just decided not to, but it ended up costing me $40. I just turned 70. I don't know exactly what all that's about, but from now on, they'll just be free. They wait till you're too old to hunt, and then they give you a free license.
Yeah.
We IP'd, didn't we? Cal Forest Security.
Yeah, we can do it again.
Well, just to prevent Bruce, prematurely coming in here, checking on his aunt.
You know, Bruce ain't out of bed
I'm
yet.
just sitting here thinking, wonder why they would do that. I mean, why would they make them free out the state? I mean, I know you Dave, they say, well, they ain't got that much longer to live, but wonder why they just do it for free. That's kind of odd, but I reckon there's something to it.
I think it used to be 65.
You've already paid your dues. You know how, by the time you reach 70, have you got any idea how much taxes you've paid of one sort or another?
I guess. Hey, Greg, how far are them monkeys away from you?
Oh, they're down in the low part of the country. They're down near Beaufort, South Carolina. They're just on the other side of the Whale Branch. It separates them from Beaufort, but down there in the southern part of the state, that's the research facility there, and then there's out there between Beaufort and there's an island out there. It's a separate facility that they call Monkey Island, and there's I don't know how many monkeys they've got out there, but those facilities have been known for years and years and years. This is the second time they've had monkeys escape from the one that's just outside of Beaufort. It's inland.
What are they going to live on?
They live off of just, what they're not. I believe they live partially outside, but they're in very close proximity to where they escaped from, and they'll use Havahart and other things to get them back. The time they had 11 of them get out, they were able to capture all of them. I don't know what they'll live off of. If they get hungry, they may start going back towards, the facility. I don't know.
Well, they could live off people's, stuff they throw out, that kind of thing.
Well, it's pretty remote. It's an area called, in the area of Yemassee. Yeah, pronounced two different ways. And Sheldon, which is where the old Sheldon Church ruins are. It's kind of pretty much out in the middle of nowhere. There's farms and stuff out there, but it's not very heavily populated.
Yeah, they said that the people from the research center was throwing food out for them, and that most of them were staying. I didn't realize there was about 30 or so of them that had gotten out, and they said there was about 13 of them that was way deeper down in the woods that they ain't seen yet or whatever, but they was throwing out food for them. But them monkeys ain't them bad dudes, those monkeys there, they ain't really, I don't know, I mean, I wouldn't want to get in a fist fight with one of the little bastards. It'd kind of be hard to defend yourself, but they ain't, you seen them monkeys where they got like red and purple and blue skin on their eye? Now them baboons, boy, that you do not want to have to fight one of them.
No, these are youth. These are very young. The ones that escaped, it was a total of 43, I think, and I think they've recaptured 2 of them, so there may be 41 that are still on the loose, but they're very young.
Probably rhesus monkeys.
Probably.
Well, the ones that are, what I'm talking about, these baboons, I'm talking about, they're a little bigger than those that I've seen, on that film there, but
that red ass.
There was a little country store service station on Highway 98 just out of Durham here, in between Wake Forest and Durham, and they had one back when I was 15, 16, 17 years old in the 70s. His name was Charlie.
Yeah.
They had him in a cage out
Makes
there.
sense.
I mean, it was a well-built cage out of steel and wood, and I'm telling you what, if that son of a gun was to get out and get on you, it wouldn't take him long to kill you dead.
That red ass caught your attention, did it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
His name was
baboon
what?
is a big animal.
Wait a minute. What was his name again?
Charlie, this has not got nothing to do with Charlie from South Carolina. Yeah, his name's Charlie.
Named him Charlie. Okay, that makes sense.
That was my
There's a guy over here at the junkyard going into Reedsville that had one. It probably, I'm going to say it weighed 10 pounds maybe. And that was the meanest thing you ever seen in your life. If you got anywhere close to that cage, you'd jump up on that wire and just bare his fangs and growl at you.
That's what this would do. And I mean, he could jump from the back of that cage all the way to the front and hit them wires and his mouth would be wide open before you could even react. So
Yeah.
he'd be on you and be done ripped your throat out before you even knew he had done jumped towards you. And he probably weighed about 30 or 35 pounds, maybe, something like that.
Well, you remember this here a few years ago, them chimpanzees that woman had as pets eat her face off?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's just...
Look, they went down there and give this monkey that. Well, they give him lit cigarettes. I never did it, but some of the guys I'd go down there with in the same car they was doing, I told them, I said, man, quit this shit, don't do that. And see, the man that owned the store had a little son and a teenage daughter that was the most beautiful thing in the land. No makeup. She was the only human being that she would go in the cage, and he would just like lean up against her, man. But she had been around him since she was I guess they got him when he was a baby, but he died. A tanker was delivering gas there, caught on fire and exploded, and that killed the monkey in about 1979 or 80. But we walked around out there, went to see that monkey so much out there that something got on the bottom of our shoes out there around outside that cage and got into the carpet. The guy's car went up in and stunk his car up. He had to get rid of the car.
I just sat trying to think about what you live off of. You take human being eats about the same thing they do, so you know, you had the ability to store stuff. You could live off acorns and crap like that if you had to. You know, start turning logs over and eating salamanders and that kind of thing. But
all right, this says one of the 43 has been recaptured. Only one so far.
I think there's
what I'm
somebody
saying.
way on
They got to get a food source somewhere.
Hello, the station out there. Nah, maybe not.
Yeah, camp formation ain't like, you know, some of those places where they got them actually fig trees. I mean, they're not like fig bushes. They're like fig trees that are 100 feet tall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, and them monkeys would be all up in there eating that bad bananas and them figs and fruit like that. Yeah, no, ain't got nothing much like that around here.
They'll be all right. They'll be okay.
I don't think they can digest grass any better than we can.
You know, that's one thing I had said one time before. You know, them turkeys, you know, all these wild turkeys around here, they're some tough son guns. They ain't never got a home. They stand up out there in the field and in the woods all day. If you don't think them things ain't tougher than me and you just take me and Bruce and put us out in the middle of my field out there. And the rest of y'all stand out there up under a tent, a shelter, drinking coffee and eating donuts and watching me and Bruce sit out there in the middle of my field all day and eating ticks.
I
guarantee you by about lunchtime, after about half a day of me and Bruce out there eating ticks, we're going to look at y'all and say, God damn, I don't like you.
I like that idea.
You could eat bait worms, nematodes, but the thing about it is, in the wintertime, all that stuff goes away, so unless I don't know that it's a big deal to make jerk deer, other than just, you know, cut it in slices and let it just dry in the sun.
Yeah.
But if you don't have some way to store food, you ain't going to make it through the winter.
You think about them immigrants come over here and they like this Sweden. I've read a little bit about Swedish immigrants that came over here and they seem like they gravitate towards Minnesota. And they get here in the springtime. They had to get a cabin built with a good fireplace in it before winter got there. They were gonna die.
Oh yeah.
Well, a man was a man.
Well, you take even out there in the mountains, you know, those elk and all, they go up there and graze in the summertime, but when wintertime comes, they come out of them mountains. Those elk migrate out from in there. About the only thing that stays up in there all winter is the mule deer. Even the whitetails come out.
Well, that's you know, people think that if the SHTF ever hits the fan, they're going to go up in the mountains and they'll live off the land. Shit. You and 5 bazillion other people, how long do you think the deer and the squirrel and the chipmunk, how long do you think they're going to last? Not long.
Well, did we ID Cam 4H? I think
Yeah, we
did.
Cam 4 can do.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you just have to eat the other people.
That's what'll happen.
Well, sure it will.
It's going to be a bunch of people going to come to realization they're going to be laid in the fetal position, sucking their thumb, crying, ain't they?
Oh, can you imagine living up there in North Georgia and Tennessee and North Carolina and the throngs of people come flooding up the highways from Atlanta? I mean, dear God.
Well, you kill a couple of people and you could live through the winter off. It wouldn't take but a couple of people.
Yeah, no. It's going to take more than that.
Can you imagine me? You climb up the mountain, and all of a sudden we hear somebody say, "What are you doing up in St. Martin?"
Yeah.
And those people, they think they're going to stand a chance to Miss Bell.
He done been out one time. Yeah, well, I don't really think that's going to happen anyway. It's just a fantasy, but there would be a few people survive one way or the other. Everybody wouldn't die, but they would have to resort to cannibalism. Yeah, that's just a fact, just a reality.
Randy, my son went and got that 462 chainsaw. Now, I don't know where he ended up getting this thing from, but boy, I got a story to tell you about the John Deere dealership in Roxborough.
You don't want to buy one from them. They don't even service them.
Well, evidently they do. I mean, I don't know, but I can tell you don't want them to service it. But I don't know why, but that's where he went to get. You know, we ain't far from that place. I don't know. I've been too much in the dump truck. I don't know why he was getting it there or whatever, but he went up there, I don't know, it was like Thursday, and he got on the phone, and he was real plain with the guy. Wanted to make sure he wanted the one without the carburetor. They said they still had one, brand new and all. He went up there, and he said, "Oh, yeah, I'll take it," but he didn't see it. He said the young boy back there got one out. Said he turned, hit the switch on it, pulled the rope, and it fired up. And within 2 seconds after firing up, he reached and grabbed hold to the trigger and held it wide open for about 3 minutes solid. Then let off of it and then cut it off. And he went back there and said, what are you doing?" And they said, "Well, we have to do that." And he looked, and it was a goddamn one that was electronic. He said, "That ain't even the one I want."
Well, why does he think he's got to hold it wide open?
I don't know. That's what I was going to ask you. They told him up there, all of them told him, said, "Yeah, that's what we have to do. It's part of the, when we have to do that before we let one go out of here. It's all part of the, make sure it's all right for the warranty and all." I mean, what the hell?
We don't do it. We'll
Really?
crank it up, make sure it'll crank. But as far as holding it wide open, that's just crazy.
And you know what? I don't know where. You know what? He's bound to have got it from there. He ended up getting. They didn't even have the one that they was telling him that they had. But evidently they got it in the next day because he got one. He said he went out there and he got it back out here yesterday, and the boy done put the chain on backwards.
We'll see what do they call it? Mid-Atlantic Steel is in Hillsboro. I mean, they probably got a 200,000 square foot warehouse in Hillsboro. Call it Mid-Atlantic Steel.
I don't know why. I mean, what is it? You can't get the 462 no more or something?
Oh, I don't know. I don't really deal in new saws about anything, but if we order steel, we order parts. I think minimum's like $1,500, but we'll order $1,500 worth of parts twice a week, and we'll have them the next day. But that's how much stuff we service, and it ain't so much. We'll sell $100,000 worth of just steel.
Okay, so but y'all don't. do y'all sell brand new steel chainsaws and such?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some months that store's got like 25 employees. They sell everything. They sell guns, plants, seeds, tools, paint, electrical supplies, plumbing. I mean, they're a full deal of Ace Hardware store. And there's some months that we'll sell more steel and everything else than that they sell in that store put together.
What the hell is the deal with them cranking the saw up and not letting it warm up but about 1.5 seconds and then grabbing hold of the tree and pulling it wide open? What the hell is that?
I don't know.
I'm going to tell him. I told him, I said, God almighty, I told you, wait a minute, let me talk to Randy. He's allowed to get you one without them doing all that. And he said, I know, I probably should have done it.
Well, you might hold it wide open for 2 seconds maybe. Just to make sure that it's not too lean or whatever, but that would be just long enough to see where the RPM maxes out, which shouldn't take over a couple of seconds.
Oh man, they said he grabbed hold of that. They did it, and he said he looked over there, and both my sons was there. My other son was sitting there looking at me, just laughing. We was laughing because my son that was gonna buy the thing, my oldest son, he was looking at me like I was gonna walk the hell out there, and we was laughing. They both of them said, man, I mean, he just held on to the trigger, just let that baby just rock.
Well, in reality, it won't hurt it. They got rev limiters on the ignition on them. They won't turn, but probably 13.5's probably all they'll turn. Don't matter what you do to it.
I mean, from stone cold, no warm-up period. That's what got them.
Yeah, I don't understand what the point of that was.
Well, I think that's the same young boy that put the chain on backwards.
I got a couple of logs up there. It's probably 30 inches that I brought. And if somebody wants to see if it's all run all right or not, we'll just take it out there and put it in some wood. But as far as just holding it wide open he's probably mixed up because those M-tronic saws like that, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to start them in the triangle position and leave them in the triangle position, and they will sit there and they will self-adjust themselves, and you can hear the RPM but you ain't holding the trigger at all, and you'll hear the RPM of it wandering up and down and up and down, and in about 30 seconds it'll stop and settle down, and when it stops and settles down, it's auto-tuned, so then you just cut it off basically. But you don't hold it wide open. You let it sit there in the triangle position and just sitting on the floor or whatever.
Yeah, well, I think it's a bunch of idiots up there. He told me, he said, man, I'll look around up there. He said, I'm telling you, the people in that work, he said, I don't know, man. He said, there's something wrong up there.
I don't know. Most of those places like that don't service them. They may do some minor stuff, but I bet we got 300 carburetors for steel saws. The aggravating thing is some of them, like those Conti popper saws, like O25 or MS250, if you go through that IPL, there's like 12 different carburetors for that one frickin' saw.
Yeah.
And most all that crap's EPA crap.
California stuff.
Yeah. I guess one of them Bible thumpers tuning up. KM4AH630.
KM4.
Hey, Ruben.
Morning, Randy.
Morning.
KM4SLQ. Good morning, Ruben.
What's going on, Ruben?
Morning there, Craig and Ken.
What's going on over there, Ruben?
I was just sitting here listening to y'all talk about chainsaws.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I got one that's just got me stumped. It ain't a chainsaw, but it's a concrete saw. I bet I've spent 3 hours on that darn thing. And it's got a air leak somewhere in the fuel system. It's one of those deals where they took a chainsaw and converted it to a concrete saw, and up there where the oil would normally be, they put a second reservoir for the fuel. So you got a key going down into the back tank, and then you got like a sump going down in there, and they've got the tank vent is inside the tank, which makes no sense to me. Anyhow, I'm gonna go back up there probably tomorrow sometime, and I'm gonna just run a line right straight from the carburetor, just dump it down, because those things, the fuel fills on top. I'm gonna just put me a filter on a piece of fuel line and stick it up right straight down in the tank and see if it'll run that way. If it will, I'll know there's a problem with that fuel line somewhere. There's like 4 different parts to a fuel line. Now, who'd come up with that?
It complicates things, don't it?
Yeah. Well, if it gets a little cracks, it's like a plastic nipple that pushes down into like a boot that's on top of the sump part of the fuel line. If it gets a little crack in it, it'll suck air, and that's exactly what it's doing. It'll crank up, and you can see it dumping fuel down in the barrel of the carb, because you're looking straight down at the barrel of the carburetor, and it'll run for about 2 or 3 seconds, and then the fuel will just stop.
Those things are designed by people who don't cut wood.
Yeah. Well, it was probably made in the 80s. So, hell, it's at least 40 years old. And it's got an air leak somewhere. It's just trying to find it. Ruben, I'm on Bruce's amplifier.
All right, you got it. You got it made?
Yeah, well, ain't sure about the timing circuit, but yeah, it's playing. That's
good. Now, you know, that one needs doggone diodes come in for this one.
You ain't got them yet?
No, it's supposed to be Friday. I thought they must be shipping them from China.
Yeah, the problem with this one didn't have anything to do with the main power supply for the tubes. It was that power supply for that control board, just a half-wave rectifier. But 2 of the capacitors, well, at least one of them, the capacitors was bad. It was just dumping AC into that regulator and the timing chip too. But I'm not sure how the thing works. When you turn this thing on, the green light comes on instantly, but the green light says power. So I don't know where it's supposed to go through the timing cycle before that green light comes on or what, but if it is supposed to wait, until the timing circuit finishes till the green light comes on, and the timing circuit part of it ain't working. And it's got that little 555 chip. I think it's like an 8-pin chip.
Oh, it's a timing circuit.
Yeah, it's just got that little 555 timer, which is pretty common, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I believe I can get to it without having to take that board back out. If it was mine, I'd just leave it alone. I mean, hell, how much trouble is it to wait 3 minutes without having an amplifier remind you to do it?
Yeah, just sit there and wait on it.
But it could be that when you turn it on, that green light comes on, but it just won't put power to the relays until after 3 minutes. That's what I don't know.
Well, no, it ain't going to. That's what the whole thing's there for. He couldn't build them. You are talking about the Commander, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't be. These companies, they can't build these things, and if there's a warm-up time, they've got to have it to where, they got to dummy-proof them.
Yeah.
They have a bad fit 555 timer, and that thing,
I've never heard of one going out, but everything happened.
Well, it had, I know it, at one point it had, like 24 volts AC on it. And so did the regulator, and it took the regulator out.
They could have took that timer out too.
Yeah, I don't know.
That AL1200, you know, you flip it on, you're ready to go.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's like this 1000 amp I got, same way.
Good morning, Troops on 1FM.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Tom, we didn't already. Tom, I was defending you and talking good about you already. Well, good morning, Tom.
They's talking about you like a dog.
Well, that's okay. They can only do it in the confines of the radio.
Yeah. They said that they had pictures of you where you was working out. Said you looked like Barney Fife.
Yeah. No,
Or,
no. You know, it's kind of like that road rage thing, you know?
They said you were in good shape.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Is that? No, it can't be. KI4 is speaking.
It is.
No, it can't.
How old are you, Tom?
I'm 65.
I'm just going to stand back and enjoy the moment.
I hadn't lifted any weights in a long time. I still walk
in a
2.5
diatribe,
miles a day, and I pull a chainsaw probably 200 times a week, but I ain't worked that in a long time.
I said I'm just going to lay back and enjoy the moment.
Okay. Well, I mean,
it's so hard for you to accept.
I gotta stay in shape, Randy, because you never know when a ham radio operator wants to beat you up.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, don't I know.
That's the reason Greg don't go to Hamfest, cause
my knees are shaking.
well, you get who was it you was gonna fight?
Who?
You.
Me?
Yeah,
everybody in here.
You gonna fight somebody? Might have been Wilkie, but anyhow, we was
I'm
going.
gonna be wearing my pink shirt, and you're gonna be so damn embarrassed the rest of your life. You'll be known as the guy that got his ass whooped by an old man in a pink shirt.
Yeah, we was trying to figure out who was gonna stand behind both of you and hold you up while you was fighting.
Yeah.
It might have been Wilkie.
No, I wasn't never gonna fight Wilkie. Wilkie threw you in the damn dirt and picked me up.
Yeah.
You know, Wilkie was he boxed some back in the day.
You talking about you pulling that chainsaw? The only thing strong on me anymore is, you know, I have to ride that dump truck, put the armrest down on the seat, and flap my elbows into them armrests, and I pick my butt up off the seat a little bit. You know, take some weight off the bottom of my spinal cord. So when you look at me from behind, look at me in the front, and you're like, God almighty, that's a ugly look. From behind, I got that V shape to my back where I'm riding on my elbows all the time.
Y'all probably never knew old Hud, but he hung around with us on 98 back in the day, and we were up there at the Dayton Hamfest. Hud probably weighed 300 pounds, I'm thinking. And Wilkie, of course, Wilkie back then probably 30-year-old or 20, probably 30. Yeah, he walked up behind Hud, put his arms around him, picked him up off the ground like he wasn't nothing.
I never met Wilkie in his 30s, but I talked to him on the radio when he was.
Yeah. Him and John Kimbrough, you know, Nashville John, they went in the bar somewhere and they kicked him out. And Wilkie told John, says, you know, these bouncers, as soon as we go out the door, they're going to try to whip our ass. And he said just as soon as they walked out the door, they turned around and hit both them bouncers right in the nose just as hard as they could hit them. Left, run and got in the car. KM4AH.
M1FM on the 40.
K4 KMD.
KI4 SB4.
Hey, Donnie, you listening? Yeah. I don't know how this timing circuit's supposed to work. The green light comes on just as soon as you turn the switch on. But I don't know whether it's supposed to wait till the timing circuit does its thing to come on, or whether it just don't put any power to the relays. I don't know.
I hadn't looked at the manual to see what it's supposed to do.
Bill, I got one laying here. I'm gonna read it after a while and see.
No, I think when you turn it on, a green light comes on. I don't know, I didn't run that long enough to... Yeah, a green light comes on, and then you have to wait. I can't remember what happens when it goes through the timing circuit, does it?
Well, it wouldn't put any power. It's like if you turn the operate switch off, the one that says operate and standby, if you put it in standby, there's no power on the keying relay. So I'm thinking maybe that timer just keeps it in standby until 3 minutes is up, but I hadn't put a meter on it to measure it yet. Yeah, it plays pretty good. I'm driving it with 40 watts and getting about a kilowatt.
Where's Bruce at? He know. Wait a minute, don't something happen when one of the meters starts reading something when the timing circuit is done?
I wouldn't think so.
Okay. I don't know. I ain't messed with this one enough to know. But I thought a green light come on when you turn it on.
Hell, it does. In this one, anyway. But it only shows it's pulling 6 or 7 mils of grid current, which I find that hard to believe.
In 40.
Anyhow.
Morning, Donnie.
Morning.
Morning, everybody.
Yeah, I changed that regulator, and it's 11.91 is what it read. So
the Empire? What did you have to do to fix it?
I'm not sure there was anything wrong with the regulator to start with, but there probably was. But it's a half-wave rectifier. So you got 48 volts that goes into a couple of diodes and a couple of capacitors, and at least one of those capacitors was bad. So it was just dumping AC into that regulator.
So you just had to replace that one piece, or you replaced all of them?
I replaced both the capacitors and I replaced the regulator twice.
Because that's what popped when you turned it on?
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that, but that's when I replaced that regulator, those bad caps just burn it right up. And you could measure it. You could measure the AC on the input side of that regulator, so knew right off it was a bad cap, or about had to be. So I bought a couple of caps off that, or actually I bought 4 of each of them just so I'd have them, but that stuff's not particularly expensive.
Well, what is the deal with that thing, those commanders? It's not a full wave rectifier or bridge rectifier. What is it, and how does he do that differently? There's not some voltage doubler or nothing like that?
Well, yeah, the main power supply for your plate is a voltage doubler, but the power supply I'm talking about is just the power supply that runs that control board.
Oh, okay. I remember reading something, he did something a little different. That's why the voltage doubler's there, right?
Yeah, I don't know that there's anything wrong with a voltage doubler. That's some of those Ameritrons, like an AL800H. That was a voltage doubler. I don't know if there's anything wrong with it. Those MLA 2500s, like Roger's got, they're voltage doublers.
Which one?
MLA 2500. That's the old Intron amp.
What tube's in them?
8875s, which are scarce as hen's teeth.
Hey, Randy.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the manual. It says after a little more than 2 minutes, the green power lamp should come on.
All right. Well, then it's not working right then.
It's coming on pretty much immediately, isn't it?
Yeah. Just as soon as you turn the switch on.
I'd change it, 555, I guess, that's the only thing. I don't see that cap going bad, but it could.
You talking about that little cap?
Whatever you're using for that RC network there.
Yeah. I don't know. It'd be real simple to change that chip. I think you can do that without taking the board out or anything. And if that don't fix it, then it would have to be at caps, not capping. I ain't gonna worry about it. If Bruce wants to change it, he can change it. If not, I'll give him a kitchen timer for free.
It's kind of funny if that's a precise circuit, they'd tell you, a particular time on it. That's kind of strange.
I don't know. I've been giving it 3 minutes. I just, like I say, I got a kitchen timer. Just push a button on it. I guess if you get old and senile, you might forget to do that. I don't know. I think I probably got another week or two. It's a good thing I had Greg to work me through it.
Yeah, there is that. What's that meter reading on the high voltage now?
It's off.
It says on this manual, I think they revised these over the while, but it says 2600 on this.
Well, with a probe, it reads like 2950.
That's pretty hot, ain't it?
Yeah. But this meter, I think, only reads like 2300, 2400. But those precision resistors, they'll be on that power supply board, and I never even opened the bottom. Actually, Lawson made a door to where you can get in the bottom of that thing without having to take the whole freaking amp apart. But I would imagine you can go under there and change those resistors and see if it changes your meter reading. But I don't recall resistors being bad about getting off, but maybe they do. It's probably got like 3 in series or something like that.
Yeah, there's several of them in there. I looked at that.
Yeah. But they're normally on the power supply board. They wouldn't be on that control board, I'm sure. Yeah. I figure I'll run this thing for a year, maybe. Make sure it works okay.
Must be the meter lights that come on when you turn the damn thing on.
Well, it could be.
Well, I'm talking about what I was saying, because I just didn't mess with his long enough to get it, in my mind. It wasn't the green light, it was the meter light.
Yeah, see, this one here doesn't have any meter lights in it, which is a good thing.
Why is that?
They had a problem. They used that same regulator to run what all it runs, and then when they added those lights to it, it pulled too much current. And the regulators was going out pretty regular.
So this whole time, Bruce has been working without meter lights.
Yeah, I don't see how
I
he
didn't know it was that rough on Bruce.
Yeah.
I see, Greg. Damn it, all the time mess with Bruce.
Hey, Randy, that's got a dedicated relay for that delay.
Yeah.
That K1.
Yeah, I know where it's at. You'd have to take a whole board back out again and change it. I guess it could be stuck.
It could be kind of unlikely. There's not much current there.
Yeah. hoping it's just that chip.
Yeah, I think I look at that first. That'd be the most obvious thing to look at.
Yeah.
Like Ruben
Randy,
said, that's uncommon that they go bad, but I guess any component can go bad.
Yeah. Yeah, Richard, that's just like I think a little 8-pin, four on each side maybe. Might be 3 on each
If
side.
that's anything like the QRO, a little 8-pin on 4-on-4, that's the part of the step start and the circuit of a QRO.
Yeah, I don't know whether they work the same way or not, but
well,
those
can
two
I
guys
tell
were
y'all
partners
something?
at
Y'all
one
don't
time,
just beat
I
the
think,
hell
so
out of me
they're
after I
probably
say it.
similar.
Damn it, I'll double with you, Randy.
Yeah, I said the both Pat Stein and whatever that guy with QRO, they were partners at one time, I think. So the amplifiers are similar.
And 1FM on the 51.
F4AH.
Well, that's what I was going to say something about. Can I say something without everybody just jump all over and pummeling my ass? Pat Stein and Ray Kern were never partners.
I thought they were. That was the story anyway. They were partners and fell out.
That was the story, and that's what I had heard, and that's what everybody's heard. But I asked both of them. They said no. They're pretty sure they had worked for the same company in their earlier years. But that's as close as it ever got. From both the horses' mouths, and I ain't never brought that up on here because I know how people just know they're right. But that's why I asked.
Yeah, well, either way, they both made good amplifiers. I liked the ones Pat Stein made better because I like the 3CX800s better than the 4CX800s.
They both set out to do the same thing. They wanted to build the best amplifier that was out there.
Well, I tell you what, this is a very well-made amp. There's no doubt about it.
Well, the QRO is too.
I'm just talking about you. I know you've done it before, Richard, but you take the cover off one of them Ameritrons, and he play hell ever getting the hose line back up again. You know what I'm talking about. But this thing right here, everything about it is just really well made.
Pretty well mil-spec put together. Yeah, because I've had the transformer out of mine. I put new sockets in mine. You know, it's it ain't no easy chore to put new sockets in it, but you better have a good half a day ready to put them in there.
Well, you know Lawson, don't you?
Yeah.
When he worked on this thing for Bruce back years ago, I think he changed the filter caps and everything out. I guess he laser cut it, but he cut a hole in the bottom of this amp, underneath that power supply board, and then made a cover to go over top of it. So all you got to do is turn the thing up on its side and just take that cover off, and you're right there at the bottom of them tubes. I'm not sure how you would.
QRO is like that, but it's not. You got to tear half of it apart to get in there to get to it. You know, it was a learning curve. I learned that you just don't take the tubes out and clean things out and then just shove them tubes back in there. You might want to be a little bit more cautious.
Yeah, I put another socket in a TL922A the other day, and it ain't hard, but it just takes a while just because there's so much solder involved. You know, those things got a chunk of solder on every pin about big as a dime, seems like.
Yeah, did you solder it back with silver solder or just 4060?
It's regular 4060. The problem wasn't with any of those connections. The problem was that once those things start losing continuity between those filament pins, there ain't no fixing them. And I remember back years ago, There was a guy, I think it was the SB220, and he was saying that it kept dripping the solder out of the pins, and he said he went in there and did this and did that, and Carl Chandler come on and said, change the socket. And it ran for about 2 weeks, and it dripped it all out again. He said he went back in there and took a file and all this. Carl Chandler came in and said, change the socket. He finally changed the socket and quit doing it. But that's the same problem this guy was having.
The 3500Z tube socket, if it ain't got no forced air on the bottom side of it to help keep them pins cool, the heat of the current going through them, current builds heat, and it'll take the string tension out of them, and then you got loose connections, and then before you know it, they'll start melting the solder out of the pins in the sockets on the tube, and you ain't got nothing but a world of mess.
Yeah, it's like 15 amps.
Well, you need air blowing across. If it's 3500Z, you need air blowing across the tubes, and you need air blowing up underneath there on the pin.
The way they're supposed to be made is the air's supposed to come up from the bottom, and they're supposed to have a chimney like an L4B.
Oh, I didn't know 3500Zs were done like that.
Yeah, they're supposed to be, according to IMAC, but it was a whole lot easier just to have air blowing across them, and usually they jack them up enough where the air can get underneath and go by the pins too, like a SB1000. But they're supposed to be forced air coming up through the bottom, through the tube socket, and up through a chimney.
Well, it's like a Heathkit SB220. It had that big round fan in the back of it that blew air across the tube, but it was also open underneath the deck there to get the air to blow across the socket pin.
Well, in that LK550, they put 4 fans in it, and they jacked the tube deck up, and then on the far side, they cut holes in it, about 3/8-inch holes, about maybe 20 of them side by side from the front to the back. So the air could go out and come up through the poop. But I still had the same problem with one of those. I had to change the socket in one of those.
Yeah, it's always a socket that's in the back, the middle one, you got your 2 and then the 1. It's always that one socket.
Yeah. But the L4Bs were made right, and those AL82s, they got forced air up through chimneys.
This old Vectronics amp I'm using here, it's got forced air up through the chimney.
Yeah, that's how they're supposed to be done.
Is it 3500Z?
Yes, it sure is.
Is the 922 that Kenwood have, does it, that's 3500Z, does it got air blowing up through with a chimney like that?
No. And another stupid thing they did, they got the darn filaments in series, so if one of those tubes goes out, and all that current that goes through the other one, and it's got a choke back there that I have no idea what it's even for. But it'll cook that choke, and it'll cook the filament power supply and everything if you try to run it for long on one tube.
Yeah, I got forced air on my dual MOSFET 1500.
This old 31,000 amp, it's got a chimney in it big as a milk jug.
I'm laughing with you, Tom.
10-4AH, I'm gonna get me some more coffee.
AG4WQQ. Good morning, Tom.
Yeah, good morning, Richard. And hurry back, Randy, because it ain't the same unless you're in here.
And before
K4KMD.
10-4RDO.
I got this Temtec Centurion over here with a dual 3500, so I really like that little amp.
Has it got chimneys on it and forced air?
No.
I wonder, does the QRO amplifier that's got 3500Zs in it, does it have chimneys and forced air up through them?
You know what? I bet it does.
I'd be curious.
up that Centurion. I like it. It's not moving anywhere. It just looks good on the desk. It's the black-faced Centurion. I don't know why they got that tan-colored one floating around out there when they built it. It don't look as good as the black one. Plus, it matches my Flex. My 5000's black, so it looks like it belongs with it. Same height and everything.
Well, the QRO with 3500s don't have forced air through the chimney. They got air sockets, forced air sockets for it, but they don't have the air portion up the through.
Really?
You would think.
Yeah, you would think.
So here's a newspaper ad for a 1963 Impala, brand new on the lot, $2,797.
Yeah, them were the good old days, weren't they?
Yeah, I'd like to have that Impala for that price.
I think I saw that. It's like a newspaper black white picture of the car viewing it from the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought. In 1975 and 76 and 77, the junkyards were slammed full of cars like that. Mustangs, Camaros, and Browns, just all kind. And I bet, well, I know for a fact, man, you get a Mustang and Camaros and stuff like that. Now, they might be bunged up a little bit on the front and back. Well, you got to, fix a little something, but you get them for $400 or $500 all day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the walls are up on the new house.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, wife and I were walking around yesterday, and we said, what the hell did we do?
Builder's remorse.
No, well, you figured our age would be downsizing and get something little someplace, and we didn't do that. Because when I built this house, I had 2 kids living with me, so it's a 5-bedroom house. And I had an office. My wife needed an office, so I got a radio room. This time I made sure I got 3 50-amp 240 plugs going in the apex of the room there, and they're going to be up at least 48 inches.
Yeah.
This nonsense of unplugging an amplifier underneath the desk there is getting old. And what I had to do, because, every now and then this Flex amp will lose, it works through the network, and there's no relay between the radio and the amplifier. They're both in the network in the room here. Every now and then it'll lose the connection. It'll quit handshaking, and I gotta unplug it, plug it back up, let it reset. That's the only thing about having a Flex type amplifier and equipment is it runs through the network. It's okay, it's cool. You can do a lot of neat stuff with it, but sometimes that network don't want to cooperate. Every now and then.
Well, I gotta tell you, I like the house that you had before the one you're in right now. And I know you're saying the one you're in now and the one you're building are gonna look the same, whatever, but I like the way that house looked before. I know it wasn't as big and all this, but for some reason I remember seeing a picture of it saying, damn, I'd like to have that.
For the one in Florida?
No. Well, I don't know where it was at.
Oh, no, I had a cabin. Well, it was an A-frame type house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's just 3 floors, and just do laundry in the basement and then get up to the bedrooms, you're walking up 2 flights of steps. I'm getting too old for that.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a one-car garage.
I remember seeing a picture of him saying, damn, he got rid of it. He sold that to get some. I said, damn, I'd like to have that. But I remember seeing a picture and saying,
Yeah, I go through houses like I do radio equipment.
Evidently. Hell, I ain't never lived in but 2 in my life. Well, maybe 3, but yeah, I don't know. You go through them pretty quick.
Well, this time I got some acreage. I'm only on 2.5 acres here, so I made sure I got something. Ain't nobody near me.
I'm gonna have to buy an elevator one of these days.
Oh, I got that figured out, Randy.
I figure it cost me what, $50,000 probably.
Is that how pretty as that staircase is with them handrails and that carpet going up there? Man, you just should take your time walking up there as pretty as that thing is.
Well, I don't have any trouble with it, but my wife, she's got to where she can't, her knees are bad. She can't hardly walk up steps.
Oh, like a stair lift?
No, I don't want a stair lift. I want an elevator where you can actually put a grocery cart or something on it.
You're going to have to get the fugitive there. Get that, stop that water from dripping down in there from the bathtub up ahead.
Hey, Randy.
Hey.
I've sold some houses when I had the brokerage there that had those house elevators in them, and they're only good for like one person. You're not going to fit any grocery carts in that.
I got a friend of mine that's got one down at Morehead City on the waterway, and you know how those are made. You got the floor down there in case it floods. There's nothing really down there that can ruin. And then you got your main level, and then you got the upper level with 2 or 3 more bedrooms in it. But he's got an elevator in that thing that's probably 4 foot deep and 6 foot wide.
Yeah.
And got the regular doors. It don't have those accordion doors on it. It's got regular doors on it.
Never done.
Randy, do something extravagant, man. You can find anything. If you set you out in this world nowadays with the computer like it is, get you one of them fancy, old-looking style elevators where it's got some gold-plated trim on it. Not real gold, but you know what I mean, polished brass, whatever. Old-looking antique where it slides shut, and there's bars on it, and it takes her up, and it's all quiet. Like, you can find you one of them. There's somebody got them out there.
And you have to have an operator in there.
Well, you could. Hell, Greg could probably do that job, couldn't he?
Yeah.
Well, I got it all figured out. I was just talking to the wife about that. I said, another 10, 15 years, we're going to have trouble walking down them stairs. And I just looked at her and I said, well, I'll just take the UTV, drive it out of the garage and around the side of the house and come into the basement.
Well, see, the issue I got, there's no way you can get in this house without going up at least 6 steps.
Yeah.
And I could come in and grade it up. On the back side of the house, I could grade it up, but we live upstairs. I mean, my radio room's down here, and I spend most of my time down here, but the living quarters, kitchen, and everything's upstairs, so.
Yeah, same here.
And we could move down here. I know people that have done it. It'd probably be cheaper to put a bathroom down here than it would be to, buy an elevator or something, but I don't know how she's going to do, but she has a hard time with steps.
Yeah, I got a bathroom, 2 bedrooms, big old TV room. My man cave. But, yeah, you're right. We could live down here, but we haven't reached that point in our life yet. She likes being on that main floor, and I like being down here, and we see each other. We run into each other at 8 o'clock at night to watch our show. That's the only time we see each other.
My next door neighbor, growing up, was a guy named John Jenkins, and he started out, built a shop back behind his house, and then he actually bought a bowling alley that was going out of business and moved that building and got a big shop up here. But I don't know how many people work there, probably 15 or 20, but he's one of those guys that can do anything. He actually built the fire truck for the fire department. and bent the tank. You know, 1,000-gallon tank. He actually bent it. That was a big, big piece of steel and just welded one side. I mean, he just can do anything.
Yeah.
And he told me he'd build me an elevator.
That's what I'm telling you, man. I mean, I've seen them. I kind of look. This whole house here that I'm in has got to kind of be redone a little bit, and so I'm looking at ideas, pictures and stuff. And there's people that's got elevators in the house, and I mean, they look good.
Well, all them houses down there at the coast, them big, they've got them, but they're kind of like what Tom's talking about. They got a little accordion door, and about 2 people can get in it.
Oh yeah, it's that.
But that ain't what I want. I want one that's, you can, not necessarily as big as what would be in a hotel or something like that, but I'm sure they got a size that.
I mean, what happens is too, you got to realize you're dealing with the internal structure of the house too. That you're going to have to cut a lot out, so you got to be careful with that. You can't just go doing something like a commercial elevator on it, because you're going to interrupt the integrity of the house.
Yeah. Well, that's the big question, would be where to put it.
I'll tell you what,
the simplest place to put it would be where the washer and dryer room is in the kitchen. That would be the simplest place to put it, but then your washer and dryer would be downstairs, so, or down the elevator.
It'd be in a corner.
It's going to be hard to do it in a corner.
That I sold, they were in corners.
Yeah, you can't do it in a corner in this house.
Yeah.
You got to have the clearance, for the go up above the floor level.
And the 2 that I dealt with, Randy, had a weight limit of 230 pounds. So when I stepped in it, it was like, you thought I had to go up like 10 flights, in a commercial building. It wasn't moving very fast.
This guy that owned this house was an engineer and owned a company in Raleigh, and they made some kind of machinery. And he and his wife got divorced. He needed to sell the house. He gave my buddy knew him from fishing. They fished down there, did offshore fishing together is how he knew him. But that whole house was built about the way you would imagine an engineer would build something. Got one of those gas stoves in the kitchen that sits like an island in the middle. It's got 8 burners on it and 2 ovens and a big hood over top of it.
That's the way this house, when it's not 8 burners, and it ain't gas, but it's 4 burners, but it's in the middle like that, an island with a great big hood there. When they first built this house in 72, the Durham Morning Herald, the big newspaper in Durham, come out here and did a little story on her pictures and her writing, because she was all into this baking pies and pastries and all that. Man, the kitchen in this house in 1972, boy, it was a badass kitchen, man, in 72. But the thing about it is, it still looks like 1972 in there right now.
Yeah. Well, my wife, when we got married, she had this house completely redone. That's 30 years ago now, but she spent $25,000 just redoing the inside and just painting different that dental molding up at the ceiling and all that crap.
Give it a modern look.
Yeah, every room's a different color. The living room is Ming red. I'll send you a picture of it after a while. He will probably be amused by it.
Like she chats with an interior decorator, doesn't she?
Oh yeah, the interior decorator did all of it. Oh, that's just all kind of faux painting where you blot on or blot off, all that crap.
Oh, hey, I'm all right with that stuff. I like looking at that. I want to live in something like that, but I just ain't there yet.
I think it's pretty, really. But now she's done got it in her head. She wants to redo it again.
Oh, yeah.
Good Lord.
But this house right here, when these people built it in '72, was a little unique. He did commercial concrete pads. That's what he did for a living. So, of course, he builds a pad house. And I'm all right with that, because that old dank crawl space under that one I grew up in that I lived in up until about 10 years ago, I didn't like it. But this thing is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house, but it's 2,100 square feet. So it's kind of a little bit different. They had it done, you know, the way they wanted it to. It's a 650 square foot living room, and then you got that gourmet kitchen over there from '72. But, you know, it's a little different. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
It just ain't never nothing been done on the inside here. But they took care of it, but it's got to be redone.
Well, my old man built this house for me, and it was just a plan out of a Lowe's book on where they used to just furnish floor plans.
Yeah, I know. That's what a lot of people did. But I mean, I like it. I like your house, the corner there where it's got all them, which I thought they were windows, but you told me they're doors, and after I looked at them, I'm like, dang, it sure is. But yeah, I mean, I like it. It's a little unique.
Yeah, it's 4 8-foot sliding glass doors, and they have held up really, really well. They don't have any, you know, gunk in between the panes. I had to replace all my windows. They'd all got to looking like crap. But that ended up not being a big deal, really.
Damn it, I gotta feed the barn cats. Forgot to do that. I'll be back. K4KMD.
Hey, come on back.
Yeah, hurry back. It ain't the same. I'm like that.
M4AH.
MB4.
So they're really trash talking me this morning.
Nah, not really. He was talking about Wilkie telling you that Greg was a regular and you wasn't.
Oh, yeah. You know, Wilkie's the only one, you know, out of the group, you know, that over the past 5 or 6 years, you know, they were always trying to find out my old call sign. But this was my call sign in the 70s when I got it up in Connecticut on a naval base. And I got it back when they opened up the vanity call, your original call. Those people got it first, and deceased relatives. Then they opened up the extra. I don't know if you remember how they did that, but that's how I got my call back. But I had an N4 call, and I used to talk to Wilkie on the N4 call. And he was the only one I ever talked to. Well, Hugh Bronson and Robert Mercer.
Oh, I remember you.
Yeah, and Casey. Casey was around then too.
Yeah.
That Casey and I, we exchanged police patches. You know, so I mean, that's how far back I go with him. And
You remember, you know how Wilkie was. He always had that sort of monotone voice. And he said, well, there's 2 Toms in here tonight, so I'm going to refer to you as Dumb Tom. I don't know who the other Tom was. I have no idea.
Well, I never had a big enough amp to compete with him back then. But it was, I think, Friday nights they would have the weenie net. I think it was Wilkie. He had that Yazoo landliner, you know, with the phone patch, and it allowed weenies to call in over 3898 on the net.
No, that was actually Jimmy Groover.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, he's the one that did the phone patch. And I tell you what, that one time, I don't know what year it was, but one Christmas Eve, I bet they had 100 people call.
Oh yeah, I remember that. He was trying to keep it short, like he was running a commercial radio station. Okay,
yeah.
next caller.
Oh, Robert Mercer was hilarious. I don't know why he got off there. He just.
Well, I was looking for him. On 98, I asked, where's Robert Mercer been, you know, and they said, well, he got into computers when they first come out, and he never came back.
M4AH. Well, he
didn't want to family. That's the stories they were telling.
Yeah, he came
before.
into the money 2 or 3 different ways, and I don't know. He was always getting into something. He had a pawn shop.
I tell you what, I heard him and Wilkie one night getting into it, and it was all knobs to the right. And, oh my God!
Yeah. Wilkie and Hugh Brunson got into it a couple of times, just awful. And then the next day, just like it never happened.
Yeah, that's how it should be. You know, some people harbor grudges.
I don't know.
Different world, different generation.
Jimmy Groover's dead and been dead a long time. I kind of lost track of Tony Petrie. You know, Tony Petrie was real involved there at one time. He had some really bad skin cancer. I don't know whether you ever met him or not, but he's a real red-headed, pale-skinned bricklayer. You know, just wrong occupation. That, you know, have real pale skin, but he got some kind of melanoma. And anyhow, he had a son, and he died and got killed or something, and his wife and he they just couldn't cope with it, so they ended up splitting up. And I don't know whether Tony's still alive or not. But he was only,
You know, I know Nick Player was around then.
oh yeah, but he wasn't a 98er. He was 39-27 back then.
He was like a visitor.
Well, you know, he was really a 39-27 guy for the most part. You know, him and Carl Chandler and Ken Black. There's a bunch of them.
That damn Wilkie would dime me out. I'd show up and say, "Hugh Brunson, I'm gonna whip your ass," and Wilkie, there's that damn Tom in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Tom.
Actually, you know, back in those days, there was 3 separate groups on 98. You had the early group, the middle group, and then the late group. And the late group was Jimmy Groover and Little Larry and Robert Mercer and Tony sometimes.
Oh yeah, when I was fresh out of college, I'd sit there and listen to them fall asleep.
Morning, y'all, in 4MTC.
Morning,
Hey,
Bruce.
morning, Bruce.
Morning, Bruce.
Bruce, you're my favorite.
Mine too. Well, the guy I know of gave me an amplifier. Sound all right?
Yeah, are you on it?
Yeah.
I'll be darned. Did the timer slow down when you lowered the voltage?
I don't think the timer's working.
Oh, that's no big deal.
Well, when you turn it on, the green light comes on instantly.
I'll just have to wait.
Well, yeah, or replace that chip. I'm pretty sure you can get your finger down in there to replace it. If not, you can do it with some hemostats pretty easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right there where you can see it and get to it.
How much you driving it with?
40 watts.
You're getting quite a bit out then.
About 1,000. But this meter's really stingy. This meter's about 1,000 watts off compared to that Nye Viking.
Yeah.
So I tuned it at 50, and at 50 I was getting close to 1,500 into a dummy load.
Yeah.
And then I just left it there and turned it back down to 40. But it's only showing like, I don't know, 6 or 7 milliamps of grid current.
Yeah, I usually run it about the same way.
Yeah. No, it doesn't pull any grid current at all. If the meter's right.
Oh, you don't know.
No, you really don't. You can calibrate it. I mean, you can take a good bench power supply that's accurate, and you can calibrate it. But I don't know that it really matters. You know, like I say, the way I operate, I don't even look at the amplifier. It's sitting behind me. If it goes bang or something like that, I turn around and look.
for a little while. Make sure it's going to survive.
You know, I got the load basically all the way over, which that's pretty normal because they used a minimum. And then when you go to 160, they just have some padding caps that just get switched in.
I think I ran it at 55 and 75.
Yeah. I'm running it at like 55 and 100.
Well, all that may have changed.
Well, it shouldn't have had anything to do with it.
That sounds fine.
Yeah. It works. It's quiet.
Yeah, it's cool too.
Yeah, it doesn't put out much heat. It really doesn't. I mean, even now, you can put your hand over it. It's just fairly warm. Yeah, it's a big amp I built. Hell, it'll run you out from in here if you don't open the door.
Yeah, it's definitely a winter amp.
You still got this, Randy?
Do what?
Have you still got this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where'd you go?
I'll be standing by.
Where'd you go, Greg?
Taking care of dogs, fixing some breakfast, cleaning up the kitchen.
I got you.
Hey, Bruce.
Yeah.
Have you met my friend Tom?
Why do you have to do this?
Because Tom's my friend.
No, seriously.
Okay, never mind.
Morning, Tom. Everybody else that's out there listening.
Okay. When you get to the point where your friends are as thin as mine, you'll announce every one of them.
You know, one is pretty damn thin.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Okay. I'm sorry, Tom.
I think if Greg and I can be mutual with even phony pleasantries, other people can.
Yeah, cordial.
Cordial, if you will.
You ought to try it sometime, Bruce.
Breaking up.
Actually, Bruce is probably, if you think about it, is probably the most neutral one out here.
I can't argue that.
Because he'll fight with somebody, and the next day he's talking to them.
That's right.
Some people you fight with, they don't talk to you for a year.
It's okay.
I tried that, but Greg kept coming back.
You know, I can truthfully say that I have never got mad at anybody on ham radio in 40 years.
Well, you came close a time or two.
No, if I seemed like I was playing.
Well, it was an engine in the rear issue, and you come close.
No.
Yeah.
No, I ain't never been mad at anybody. I might get hollering at them or something like that, but I've never been mad at anybody on ham radio.
Okay. Wish I could say the same.
Anyway, morning, Bruce. You going to the airport?
I am.
Yes, I am. I'm going to go fly a Learjet and dive bomb Pearl Harbor.
No, he's going to go fly a Champion Satabria.
Good morning, everybody. In for EDS.
Ed.
Morning, Ed.
Morning, Ed.
Hey, morning, Ed.
Morning, everybody.
I tell you what you need, Bruce. You need to get you an air coupe.
A scare coop?
Yeah, where you land it sideways.
We've all passed. I rode the scare coop.
There was a guy lived down the road from me. Shelton was his name, but he had one. He flew that thing for years. You could tell that you could hear it coming just by the sound of it. He flew it in and out of Air Harbor over here. At one time, Air Harbor wouldn't even insure a plane that you flew in and out from in there.
He was a Shelton?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are, I don't know if his brother down here in the upstate, but that's a famous name around here in aviation.
What's the difference about it? Why does it make a different noise?
Just the sound of it. They just,
Little 65 horsepower engine.
Rather have a Helio Courier, thank you.
And I don't all the wheels steer on it or something weird?
Yeah, it doesn't have a rudder, or it doesn't have something.
You don't even need wheels on Helio Courier.
Yeah, I think it doesn't have rudders. It doesn't have pedals on it.
Helio Courier almost takes off first.
Yeah, he never had a license. He just, and of course, you don't have to have one if you don't carry anybody with you, I don't think. Or used to not. K4AH.
K4MTC.
K4 Candy.
W4MCF.
Hey, Charlie. Hey, Charlie, how much you want for that 3-holer?
I don't know if you can afford that, Randy.
Well, Ken's got one down there. I like his amps, to be honest with you.
He won't sell it. I done tried to get it from him.
Well, it ain't mine, it's my son's, but I don't think he may break down and let go of it. Hell, I got to get you tall and skinny over there first.
You know, y'all probably never knew him, but there was a guy we used to talk to in Arkansas. His name slips my mind right now, but he spent more money on radio stuff than anybody ever saw. But he bought one of those things for $3,000, and I'm talking about years ago when they were almost brand new. And Wham ended up with it for a while, and it may be the one of y'all got. Who knows?
I like it an awful lot. And I ain't gonna say it can't be bought, but it won't be cheap.
What? All right. Well, Charlie, what would that number be? Just ballpark figure. What would that number be?
Depending on who's buying it.
Oh, come on. Money's money now.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
You mean if Greg come up there wanting to buy it, the price would be higher?
It would be not for sale.
Damn it.
I think y'all sell it to Don up there in Roanoke.
I just can't see it, bro.
Hey, Jerry.
Said the blind man. Hey, Jerry. I just can't see Bruce as a big turkey taking out in the field in the wintertime.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, me and Bruce eating ticks in the field?
Yeah, I just can't see it. Bruce is a turkey, though. You missed all that, Bruce.
What's Tim? How's your wife, Jerry?
She's having a time.
Really? I was afraid of that. Yeah, my wife's having surgery Friday. She's scared to death. They're going to go in and take a section out of her colon.
Where are they going to do that at?
I guess Wesley Long.
What, is that in Greensboro or something?
Yeah, it's all Cone Health anymore. Everything in Greensboro's Cone Health. Even Reidsville, you know, Annie Penn and Reidsville's Cone Health now. That's about everything around here is either Cone Health or Novant.
Healthcare is big business.
Yeah. Well, you look at the Taj Mahals they build. I mean, look at, when was the last time you went through Winston-Salem, Ed?
Oh, I hadn't been over there in years.
Well, if you ever go through it, take the green 40 through Winston and look at Wake Forest Baptist. I mean, it looks like a dad-blamed city just on its own.
Am I correct? I thought I watched a program on public PBS about the old airline, Piedmont Airlines, which I remember as a kid. Weren't they based out of Winston-Salem?
Yeah.
Yeah, they showed a lot of pictures of Winston-Salem, and it's funny because I don't think I've done anything maybe more than drive past it. I've never had an occasion to go there.
Yeah, I used to fly out of Winston-Salem some. They had a Piper dealership over there at that airport.
Is their identifier INT?
I don't know.
I think it is. They were the first international airport in the United States.
guess didn't Eastern buy them?
Piedmont?
Yeah.
I don't remember who bought them.
I know, and I watched that I enjoyed that program. It was educational. It's so funny because I remember the cigarette. I remember that every seat had a little ashtray on the armrest.
Was the U.S. Air? Well, wasn't it Eastern before it was U.S. Air? Because Eastern is gone.
I had a 71 Ford. Well, no, it wasn't. What was that? I had a truck that had a Piedmont sticker on the windshield.
Good.
Yes?
I can't picture you in the truck.
They had plants over there that made seats and everything. It was pretty good sport, pretty good business going over there.
Yeah, it was the customer service, they said, was unrivaled at the time.
You know, there's a place in Greensboro that does repair, jet repair. I can't think of the name of them now, but they started out, it was some retired Air Force colonel started it. They got a big old wall over there that they crank them jets up where they're, fasten down and rev them up, and you can hear them all the way over to my house, and it's probably 12 miles. What's the name of that place, Bruce? That big shop there?
I'm trying to think of it. I've heard it 1,000 times.
I'm the same way. I used to sell them all their explosion-proof fittings for their conduit, for their wiring. Angel Electric, they used to do all of their electrical stuff, and all your explosion-proof unions and seal-offs and boxes and everything else. They had some Class 1, Division 1 stuff. Group B and C. Group A, the only thing in Group A is acetylene. Something y'all all needed to know, I'm sure.
Yeah, wasn't it Piedmont and Eastern come together and it was U.S. Air?
Yeah, maybe.
My wife's got a brother-in-law. They live up in Kernersville, and the reason I went up there is because he's an upholsterer, and he got a job with, first it was Piedmont, then it was, I can't remember. Which one? Richard Childress was sponsored by him. But anyway, he's had a job with him, works night shift, goes in and sleeps for 8, 9, 10 hours, and then goes home.
They make them Honda jets in Greensboro, and they had one crash on takeoff out there somewhere in the last couple of days. Said it never got off the ground.
Yeah, well, it did because it hit a car and it killed everybody on board.
You reckon you just couldn't get enough airspeed to get off the ground?
No. If I was guessing, they put the wrong fuel in it.
Knowing the NTSB, it'll be a year before they have a report on it.
But didn't it say it killed 7 people? I don't think is it a 6-passenger airplane?
Well, it may have killed somebody in the car.
Well, I didn't think of that.
Yeah, they make those over here in Greensboro, I think.
WA4UCM.
KM4AH.
N1FM.
K4KMD.
N4EBX.
N4MTC.
Used to fly a Piper Cherokee Warrior.
Whew.
Flew one of them things around Grandfather Mountain a couple of times, around the bridge.
Did you get 100 out of it on cruise?
Baby. I think it'd do about 110. I think the Warrior'd do about 110, 15. Anyhow, that front started coming through the mountains. That darn thing would drop and hit. When the wings hit the air again, it just go bam. Which the devil, we need to get out of here. That old boy ended up being a pilot for U.S. Air and retired from it probably. He was out of Vietnam. He was in the Air Force in Vietnam, but he wasn't a pilot. He was a gunner on one of those helicopters that goes up, try to get the down pilots back out.
Yeah.
But anyhow, he finally became an airline pilot. Kind of funny because we'd take a 6-pack of beer and throw the cans out the window. You know, you could take like it wasn't a big deal on like a 172, but on those other ones they had a little window over there on the side of it where you could open it enough to get a squished beer can out of it.
I can't believe you're saying this.
Well, I mean, it's just a fact. And now he ended up being a airline pilot. Hell, one of them boys that come out of the Vietnam, heck, he flew a dead blame helicopter under the bridge where 29 goes over 150. Just for the hell of it.
You know, my nephew went in the Army as a saxophone player and went to OCS, scored number 1 in school. So what do you want to do? He said, I want to be a pilot. So he went to pilot school. So then he scored number 1 there. Well, what do you want to fly? The H-64 Apache. So he did that during Afghanistan, and now he's a commercial pilot for Southwestern. All from being a saxophone player.
I think those overseas guys can make, what, a couple $100,000 now?
That's the same way Kamala got as far as she did.
I want to know who taught that saxophone player an airline pilot.
Yeah. I'll tell you what he did give me. So I was the only one that would send him, care boxes, overseas when he was in the war. And he flew the flag in his Apache. He had like 13 different missions on this one flag, and he framed it and put a certificate with my name on it. That's my most prized possession.
Yep.
I love that thing.
You know, my wife's first cousin, Buster Glosson, he joined the Air Force and come out a 3-star general.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I don't know what his retirement is, but I expect it's pretty good.
You know, when I go to the airport, Harkey, I asked him one of the other guys asked him, said, what was your rank? And he was an advisor to McNamara. And he said, well, we didn't ever wear uniforms, but he said, I did see a piece of paper one time, and they had me down as a 4-star general.
In World War II, what did they have, like 6 generals? And now they got like 40 or 50.
Yeah, way too many.
I'm talking about 4 stars.
Hey, that black guy, that DEI appointee that Biden put in charge of the military, do you think he'll keep his job?
You know, I really don't know much about him. The cabinet, the Secretary of Defense, and obviously the Attorney General and all that bunch will be gone. Milley will be gone. Trump hates Milley, but I don't know about Austin.
I bet you he's supposed to get her Secretary of Defense.
That would be something.
Well, she's currently in the Army.
I think she's a colonel.
Yeah, she's a colonel, yeah. He'll promote her to general. I tell you what, she's kind of easy on the eyes, too.
Yeah, she is.
And smart. But a lot of people forget she used to be the DNC vice chair.
I think he'll make that representative down in Florida. His name escapes me at the moment, but I think he'll probably make him Secretary of Defense.
Who's going to end up Secretary of State?
Oh, that's Rubio.
Yeah, but I don't understand that. Why would you give up a position of senator to be a Secretary of State?
Because you're third in line for presidency.
Yeah, but you're going to be gone in 4 years, probably.
Well, if he does take the job, then the governor, DeSantis, gets to appoint the Senate.
Well, yeah, that's true. But even still, what does that do for Rubio in 4 years?
Hey, did anybody hear that Nevada was caught cheating on the House ballots
Imagine that.
They had the 3 o'clock printout, and they had all the counties listed in Arizona. And this one county had 109,026 votes. At 3. At 5, it had 109,026 votes. At 8 p.m., it had 129,026 votes. Somehow exactly 20,000 votes showed up in that one county after they quit counting. And they were all for the Democratic person. All 20,000 of them.
And it paid 5 to 1.
Well, they did that crap all across the country in 2020. I'm convinced of that because you look at the difference in the number of votes that she got compared to how many Biden got. There's like 10 million votes that are missing.
It was 11 million.
Yeah.
Trump's got 11 million more votes than
Who beat the rig?
No, I'm talking about how many more votes Biden got than Harris got.
Oh, Biden beat her.
That's what I'm saying, and obviously the population has grown some, and he got like 10 million less. She got like 10 million less votes than he did.
Huh.
So you got to wonder where them other 10 million votes came from. Now, I'm sure there was a lot of people who just wasn't crazy about her and just didn't vote at all, but even still, there was a bunch of votes in that 2020 election that were bogus. And if I said that on Twitter or YouTube, I'd be banned. It's kind of funny when you think about it. You know, Elon Musk has fired 80% of the people that work for Twitter.
Yeah.
That's why he bought it, so he could do that.
Yeah, well, maybe. Apparently, that 80%, their only job was to make, erase anything they didn't agree with. But get those the progressive left didn't agree with.
Well, Trump says he's going to get Congress to pass a law that says just because somebody votes something that you don't agree with, you cannot, blackball them or kick them out like they did him and everybody else on Twitter and Facebook.
Well, the thing about it was at the direction of the White House.
Well, if they pass a law, they won't be able to do that. Even the White House won't be able to do it.
It's just like that, I don't know which one it was, what his name was, that the dude that was a lawyer with that woman down in Georgia. He had visited the White House 2 or 3 times before they indicted Trump on whatever they indicted him on. And now Jack Smith's trying to move up the decision about the case in D.C. before Trump's inaugurated.
I'm hearing he's probably going to have to drop it.
Well, if you read anything that has to do that has been written, documented, DOJ's rules of operation, yeah, he's supposed to drop it. And even the D.C., the New York case.
Yeah, Mark would then put the axe to all that.
Well, he said the supremacy clause in the Constitution basically said that whatever the federal law is overrules whatever the state law is, so that Letitia James, her crap's going to go away. Whether they like it or not. All that crap was bogus to start with. It's crazy.
I hope Mark becomes part of the administration somehow.
It was in Reagan.
You know what's funny is that
Mark Robinson that runs for governor up here, was just actually surprised he lost.
Came for it, HCC.
And 4MTC.
And before.
You know, I didn't even vote for governor. I don't know about Mark Robinson. I couldn't vote for him. I couldn't vote for a Democrat either, so I just didn't.
Unfortunately, he made some very stupid comments.
Well, he really did.
I was going to say, I don't know how he could have been surprised. He buried himself.
Yeah, you're right. He didn't just lose. He just got completely obliterated.
Yeah, they called that election at about 15 after 8 in the morning.
Is that on election day?
Yeah.
If he'd have just kept his mouth shut.
Well, that they tore him up with his own words. You know, I mean, those sound bites that, you know, about the abortion and you just can't keep your legs together. Man, did he ever cross the line?
Yeah. Like I said, because you can't keep your skirt down.
Yes. And I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying he's wrong on his mouth.
Yeah.
You know, I don't understand. I just don't understand. It's just like Georgia getting that, what was the football player they had running for governor last election?
George Rogers.
What was his name?
George Rogers.
That played for UGA.
Yeah, you think about one that was running for senator.
Yeah, he was running for senator.
Yeah, he wasn't running for governor.
Well, I mean, what, he beat every woman that he ever dated, and then why would you think that guy would make it?
Well, Trump's beat all the women that run against him.
Yeah, but he's got a comb-over going.
You know, all the people that know him personally really like him. You know, other than that moron lawyer that he had to start with and a couple of generals that he fired, most of the people that had worked for him hadn't had anything bad to say about him.
Well, do you think the Democrats will ever figure out why the majority of the people didn't vote for Kamala?
Well, I was reading some analysis that they think that one of the big things that came out of her mouth that damaged her the worst was that interview that she did on whatever those little communist girls on TV, where she said they asked her would she have done anything different, than Biden, and she said no, she couldn't think of a thing. They said that was probably the single worst answer and really hurt her chances, was that she wouldn't have done anything different than Biden.
Well, another thing she did, she picked that moron for a vice president.
I don't know that she picked him or the Democratic National Committee picked him.
Well, she should have got Shapiro. Is that his name? The governor of Pennsylvania? She should have picked him, but she was afraid of that bunch of Muslims up there in Minnesota. And he's a Jew. Anyhow, the whole thing was train wreck. And the poor old left-wing media, I feel so sorry for them.
Oh, I do too.
The who?
Media.
Oh, yeah.
Tune in to CNN and MSNBC just to check them on there. They still operate just like they did.
You ever watch Bill Maher? Did you see the one where he had Morning Joe on there?
Yep.
Bill Maher, he's not an idiot. Now, he's over on the left, but he ain't crazy left. But poor old Joe Scarborough, I swear I think he's mentally ill. And that, who was the little skinny guy that was always got the ball cap on?
more info.
I can hear the preaching going on already. It just started.
Need more info.
He's married to Madeline.
Oh, yeah. Snap ahead.
Yeah, what's his name? He really is. I mean, he's just a freaking nutcase. Oh, yeah, he's crazy as hell.
Boy, the band went out at the same time.
Carvel.
He's just crazy. He's a nutcase.
Snakehead.
See you on NFF.
See, Tom.
See you.
Have a good day.
They walk facing the traffic.
Yeah. It's interesting. Hurry back, man.
You ever notice he lives in a place for a little while and then his neighbors run him off? Poor old Tom.
And then they created that.
That was so good, Randy.
Around it. Where one never existed. All of a sudden, they got an HOA surrounding it,
Yeah.
squeezing the life out of it. I think what pissed him off is his driveway's fancier than the rest of them.
Yeah.
That's what finally did it.
Well, you man got a $30,000 driveway.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't like that loud-ass damn truck going up and down the road.
Well, that's right.
Look at them flow masters on it.
Yeah.
Back to second temporary.
And his fan club showing up in the middle of the night, burning their rubber off the tires out there in front of the
donuts
houses.
in the
Remember that?
cul-de-sac down there.
Yeah, cul-de-sac.
That's a weird word, isn't it?
I'll tell you a quick story if you'd like to hear it.
No, thank you. It's fine. Just keep it. Email me.
No, I want Ed to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Hey, Ed.
Yeah.
Remember when they were
Too bad Ed missed that.
behind where we live?
Yeah, he missed it again.
Sheriff, whatever the hell. Anyway, there's a cul-de-sac behind the house. They had built
Nope.
homes back there, but everybody was going back
Try
there
again.
parking. And one day my dad noticed there's cops out there, so he went out there. He came back in the house. He told me and Cindy,
One more
Didn't tell
time,
him
Jerry.
nothing.
what's going on? He said, the cops are out there looking for some kind of little bugs that are attracted to marijuana.
I don't know, Charlie. It's a little cooler than that up here.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Works for me.
I'm pulling your leg, Greg.
oh, he's such a bully.
Now, I can't say that I remember that, anything about any bugs. I mean, I personally can attest that we did have marijuana growing in quite a few places around that subdivision.
Roaches, dummy, roaches. My sister and I about split a gut laughing. Little bugs attracted to marijuana. Funny as hell. Oh, go ahead, Charlie. Talk over the top of me. Go ahead.
I know it, Bruce.
He's got good reason to be.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Minding my own business. KI4S Victor.
Well, I called that Samaritan Turf. That Billy Graham bunch, they're all over the place up here helping everybody out of their messes. And I left them a message yesterday morning and asked if they could touch base with me, so they called me. I explained, I said, my tower, I explained about my mast, that telescopic mast, and darn it, they sent two gentlemen over here. One of them was actually a ham, and we pushed that mast of mine on up about 25 more feet, so my inverted V for 40 should really be working now. I would say, and then IMAX 2000 is mounted on the top. And I would guess the top of that IMAX is now at about 80 feet.
Damn.
Have you tried it on 40 yet?
No, but I've not been getting out well on 40. The guys always seem to have trouble hearing me, and the antenna was only at about 30 feet at the top of the inverted V, so...
Yeah, the ends were too close to the ground.
When they angled down, they came within, 6 or 8 feet of the ground.
Thank you, Jerry. N4 MTC 8 o'clock.
488.
And before
Well, now that rascal, that inverted V is totally clear of the house. The top of it now is at about 50, 55 feet, and the legs come down there about 15 feet off the ground, maybe.
How far apart you got them spread it out?
Like Mark Robinson's commercial.
I mean, is it at a 45 degree or further out than that?
No, it's almost perfectly 45 degrees. I was out there this morning giving it a double look, and it's about perfect.
Great. Let me know when you're going to go to 40. I might meet you up there, see if I can hear you.
Let me ask y'all a question. Why would this amplifier do more power into a dummy load than it will into my antenna?
Your antenna
Resistance.
Well, I don't know. But typically, if you've got higher SWR, your watt meter will read higher because it's reading it twice.
reading it coming and going.
Wait a minute. But if you've got your antenna isolated with ferrite, it shouldn't come back, right?
Oh, yeah. SWR is basically reflected power, and it just gets kicked right back. It turns around and goes back the other way, too. It's not even necessarily lost. It should read, most watt meters, the higher your SWR is, the more power they read.
Well, what is the purpose of the ferrite then?
That's to keep RF off of your shield.
Okay, I'm a big believer in that.
Yeah, they stack most of them. Some of them, they got a core in it, and they got magnet wire wrapped around.
Yeah, I make those things, but sometimes I found them in bulk, and I've got it literally on everything, everything plugged in this house. Even though the signal still bothers, something was the last thing I heard.
Yeah, both of the Ballons that I'm running right now, Mitch Cox made them sometime or the other, but they're a donut, a ferrite donut with ever so many turns of magnet wire around it. Anyhow, it was this particular amplifier, my particular dummy load, it reads more power into the dummy load than it does into the antenna, which is ass backwards, I would think. Or it could be this is just a better watt meter, I don't know. Same watt meter, though.
That's a good question. N4 MTC, we did 8 o'clock, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
W4MCF.
But with 50 watts of drive, it would do legal limit just fine into a dummy load, but don't seem to quite get there into my antenna. Oh, about 1014 with 40 watts. But like I say, hey Charlie, this Cahincha is a stingy meter compared to that Niviking.
Have you got it on average or PEP?
PEP.
Or maybe your Niviking's been lying to you.
Well, that's entirely possible.
I'm not even running the Commander right now, Andy. Randy, I'm on the LK550 with the 3 of the 3500Zs.
Yeah, I can't really tell any difference. through with that Viking, it would peg it with 100 watts of drive, and with this one, about 46 is all it'll show. Which, I mean, it don't really make any difference. I mean, you're really just trying to tune something anyway.
Yeah, they're all just for reference.
Really?
I do need to go in the menu and set the SWR level if this thing kicks off. I think it's 2 to 1, but you got to go in there and change something to make it lock. You know, that Viking will lock automatically if it hit a certain level, but this one it'll cut off, but then it'll come right back on. So every time you say something, it cuts off and on basically. You're on the wrong antenna or something. It is pretty though.
So how much you gonna give Bruce for that amp?
I don't see no point in giving him anything for it. What is?
I mean, possession is 9/10 of the law.
Yeah, or 11/10. I need to get Tuesday to figure out, you know, the rate to charge him.
Wait a minute now.
Where is Tuesday anyway?
I don't know.
Sunday morning.
Where were you last night? There were several people calling for you.
I went to bed last night early.
No, they said if he's drunk, he's been on the radio. That's right.
I actually didn't get drunk last night.
What do you drink, Randy? What's your favorite drink?
I drink Absolute vodka.
Okay.
I just drink shots. I don't mix it with anything.
There you go.
And I need to quit it too.
Take it like a real man.
I need to quit drinking.
We don't need no stinking badges.
You know, I quit drinking for a couple of weeks.
Oh, no.
Yeah, back when my wife was, having her issues and whatnot, and I was out there mowing the yard, and she came out the back door and walked out there and handed me a shot of vodka. And I don't know what she was trying to tell me.
There's a message.
I think that's what I was thinking. There's a message there somewhere. Like you ain't no fun since you quit drinking.
Marcotti.
Really?
The 151.
No, they didn't. They just quit carrying it.
Yeah, okay.
My brother-in-law that passed away worked for Duke Power. He always drank rum.
Ooh, can't do that.
It makes you understand why them fellas run around that little keg on them fire escape fighting all the time.
What did they make rum out of?
Juniper berry?
Sugar cane.
No, it ain't.
Brown sugar.
Yeah, it may be. You may be right, Jerry.
No, I couldn't possibly.
N4 MTC 10F.
N4AH.
W4 MCF. As a matter of fact, when you get up, you get that taste that sugar cane.
Hey, John.
And you're up early, Johnny.
That's close enough.
McCarty.
Johnny, why don't you get your ass back to bed? What the hell is that?
Talks like it when it burns your mouth out. I know what they think now, Bruce. They call him an asshole.
Hey, I don't know whether I told you or not. Probably don't care no way, but that boy had that John Deere zero turn. His belt kept coming off of it. So he went and bought a brand new Bobcat. And I told him bring that thing over here and I'd fix it. So anyhow, he had never greased the pivot where your belt touched or pivots. He had never greased the thing the whole time he had it. The thing's probably 25 years old. And it finally just seized. Anyhow, I run a bolt through there. I hung it up, drained all the oil out of the motor, hung it up by the chain hoist and run a bolt through it. And, tighten down the nut on the bottom of it. Hold on about it. He told me to come get it. He asked me how much I owed him. I said nothing. Well, he sent me a text, said, look in the seat of your red truck. And he gave me $250 fixing that friggin' lawnmower.
Damn. Are you sending me a message of you work on lawnmower 10 minutes to make $250, you work on an amplifier for 3 days?
I sent him a note back, and I told him, I said, a little much, don't you think? He said, well, you can buy me a beer. I was figuring, I didn't even go look for a while, because I was figuring he probably left me a bottle of Crown Royal or something.
You got another amp tore up, Bruce?
Oh, no, not now.
Oh.
No, I'm talking on it. You want it? You want it, Jared?
No.
Well,
I can't talk in that high voice. You'd have never got it if it hadn't been for Bruce telling you how.
no, it was actually Greg the one that walked me through it.
Do what?
Yeah, Greg walked me through it.
That was got choked on my coffee.
I'll get one of them timer chips and stick in there just out of curiosity. I mean, unless you just want it right now.
I don't need it right now. If you wanted to change those little resistors in that bottom board, so the amp,
well, I could, I suppose.
oh, the gauge would read right. Or what, 1 watt?
Yeah, probably.
Precision resistor. I think there's 3 of them.
Yeah, that's usually the way they do it.
What's it doing, Randy? Taking too long?
No, it's instant on him.
Oh, hell.
Well, it don't matter to me because, hell, all you got to do is take a kitchen timer, which I just happen to have one sitting here, and set it on 3 minutes.
I couldn't wait that long. You believe that, Johnny? I tell you, yeah.
You know, those Simpson meters, or not Simpson, yeah, it is Simpson, come think of it. Those Simpson meters, analog meters, are 2,000 ohms per watt. Or, per volt, sorry. So if you want to read 5,000 volts, it would be 5,000 times 2,000. And you can use a single resistor. I don't know why they use 3 in a row. I'm sure there's a reason. But the one I put in this old Collins amp because it didn't have a voltmeter on it, but I just put it single. Whatever 2,000 times 5,000 is. But it has to be a voltage rated resistor, when it's long enough you can't jump across it.
Didn't they used to put some sort of wire shielding on each end of those resistors?
I don't know.
I think Collins did.
The one I built dump the high voltage on this control board in this homebrew. It's like, I think there's 9 of them, maybe 9 resistors in series.
Damn.
Yeah. You got like 6,200 or something like that going in, 6,300, something like that. And at the bottom, you get all the way down to the bottom of it, there's an adjustable resistor in series. And at that point, you can set it to read what it's supposed to read. You know, set it to read what your probe reads. It's the prettiest thing in the world, but it works. You know, I just built it on one of those perforated boards.
Seems to be in real good shape.
Yeah. I come down here this morning about 5. There were some zeros talking on 16. They were out. Did you talk to them?
You talking about after they died down?
We were talking.
That's what Bruce Turkey.
Yeah.
Greg, you want to go ahead and tell me what they said?
I can't believe Ken called him a turkey.
Been called a lot worse. Good him was out picking in a bottom or something in wintertime.
Morning, Greg.
Hello, Gregory R.
No, the way the conversation got started was those monkeys that escaped down there in South Carolina somewhere, and what they would survive on in the wintertime, which they won't, unless they can get them back in somewhere. But Ken was talking about how tough a turkey is, and that they can make it through the winter. And then the next thing you know, it ended up being loose. And who else was it, Greg? I forgot.
Oh, Bruce, I just told him that we was somebody shit hit the fan and all of us had to make out there eat some worms and salamanders and ants and all. And I told him them turkeys are tough. They ain't got much if they was to put me and you out in my field out there like them turkeys do all day eating ticks while they stood up under a little tent, keep drinking coffee and eating donuts. About lunchtime after me and you about to have a day eating ticks off the weeds, we turned around and looked at them and said, man, these things shit. I don't like this.
That's twice you used the S word. He just tried to get the point across, bro.
In one sentence. And what I was saying, because we talking about when it hits the fan and everybody going to the mountains and you know, it not being anything to eat, and I just told Greg, I said, you just shoot them and eat them.
Randy, if it happens, you're welcome to come up here and eat coal.
Well, I'm just saying it'll be cannibalism. Of course, it ain't never going to happen anyway, but if it did for some reason, like we got hit with a meteor enough to have a winter for 2 or 3 years or something.
W4MCF 20 after.
K4AH.
K4KMD.
That resort to cannibalism sure as the world.
This is KI4SVQ. Rose Hill, Virginia.
Shoot, you could live off of him for what, a year and a half, 2 years?
Preservation.
Soft him down real good.
Yeah.
Hang him up in a racket.
M4MTC.
You know, some of those, well, Joe Biden said ain't been long ago, said, what was it, his brother, his uncle parachuted out on the island down there in South Pacific and the cannibals ate him. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I saw, this was on National Geographic sometime years ago, but they were interviewing one of those guys. They had an interpreter, and I forget it, one of those islands, New Guinea or something like that. And he was talking about if they got into a war with another tribe, say they killed somebody that was part of their tribe, and in retribution they would go kill one of theirs, and the first thing they would do is eat their liver. And it's just real matter of fact about it.
I think there's still some tribes down there in like South America and the Amazon, the jungle down there, where they you don't go down in there. I mean, they'll sit and look at you across the river. There's been film crews that have gone in, and like I said, they got some kind of interpreter, and they got to look at you from across the river for about 2 weeks before they ever let you come across.
Randy?
Yeah.
Isn't there a country called Antioch that's where they actually have headhunters and stuff?
I don't know, well, Borneo, but I don't know that they do anymore. But there's an island somewhere down there, I'm thinking around Australia, but there's an island down there that there's some people living on it that are basically prehistoric, and they're protected by the government. They just don't let anybody go over there and mess with them. And some or whatever decided he's going to go over there and save them. So he went over there, and next thing you know, they ate him.
Bye, y'all. WA4UC.
See you, Jerry.
Bye, Jerry.
Watch your step.
Watch your step. What do you think of that, Rick?
Watch your step.
And that's been in the last 4 or 5 years.
In the damn bathroom again.
So you're saying in the last 4 or 5 years since the ambulance went down there to this island in this mountain?
Yes. Yes. I never saw him again, put it that way.
Well, I don't believe that. People don't know.
And they, by law, couldn't really go over there and try to, rescue them or anything like that. I mean, the place is just off limits. They, for whatever reason, they just decided to leave those people alone. And they, like I say, they just live the same way they did 1,000 years ago.
Wish I could figure out how to do that.
I wonder what they think when the jet plane flies over.
What, be left alone?
Yeah.
You got to stop throwing rocks at everybody.
Well, ain't nobody bothered you this morning.
Okay. Well, it's Sunday.
He's been well behaved this morning.
Yeah.
I think it's Sunday.
He ain't said nothing stupid yet.
He's right on the edge, though.
Miss Bell probably tell us different.
That dude on 7 is as much up the band as he is down it. You hear him now? Not right this second, but he was in there a minute ago. Probably Paul. I think he cleaned his station up, so my understanding. Really? Yeah, they said he did.
After all these years? I believe in that.
All kind of miracles happen.
Yeah. Randy?
Yeah.
I Googled that. The guy's name was John Allen. He attempted to contact the tribe, and it's called
north to there's an old common where
Who is that in there?
That's Captain Charles.
Did it tell you where the island is?
Spell it again, I'll look it up. Spell it again, I'll look it up.
Yeah, it's Sierra, he is in Edward, N is in November, he is in Tango. I was in June, N is in November, he is in Echo, L is in Lima, he is in Echo. Sierra was in F, he is in Echo, Fly, and that's also the name of the island.
First, Central and Lee Island.
How do you pronounce it?
Centrally.
You want me to see it?
Hey, we could have a de-expedition.
It wouldn't last long.
Yeah.
You know what has never been recalled for E. coli?
What?
Whiskey.
Wonder why.
Y'all know Bobby Allison died.
When?
I'm darn.
But they just, something happened down this zone, and they reckon that, about 2 weeks ago, this is a whole time.
And he's with his boys, man.
He had a real bad crash back, I don't know, several years ago. I don't think he was quite right.
And he lost those 2 boys, and really sad. But they're up there racing to Earnhardt now.
Damn it, I had to turn the heat on for a minute.
What?
It's 48 over here. I slept with the windows open, and I like it cool, but right now it's 52 inside.
56 outside here. Feels good, too.
It's in the Bay of Bengali, Andaman Island chain. It's off the west coast of Thailand or India.
Okay.
Is that where he's broadcasting from?
Jesus.
Try to keep up, Ed.
Jesus is there, Bruce.
He could have been. Maybe he needs to be. I'm reading that Ukraine launched the largest set of drone attacks on the Moscow. They sent 70 drones. UK Defense Chief says Russia lost 1,500 troops every single day in October.
No wonder they got North Korea backing.
I heard last night that all them damn North Korean troops that were sent to the Ukraine got killed.
How's that? They did send. They sent North Koreans to the front line.
Yeah.
N4AH.
N4MTC.
W4MCF.
K4 Candy.
NB4
4EDS.
Hey, Philip. Well, supposedly Trump called what's the hell's his name?
Zelensky with a Z.
Yeah, supposedly Trump called him and talked to him, and I don't know what they talked about. Who knows?
it would have been, now, how much money are you going to send me if I send you, that's probably what Biden would have said, I'm going to go to the airport, I'm out of here, thanks for hanging me, I'll talk to you later, M4 MTC.
All right, man.
That's this time. M488.
Clear.
Yeah, I'm going to let you fly one this morning, Bruce.
Yeah, we was talking about that missionary that went to that island that nobody is by some kind of treaty avoided. The people are basically prehistoric, and a missionary went there for whatever reason, and he just never saw him again.
They ate him.
Probably.
You know, they order a lot of Coke over there. Because everything goes good with Coke.
Hey,
Yeah.
I had to come to Asheville the other day to pick up my granddaughter from school. You were talking about a lot of traffic you were in the other night. Holy mackerel, I didn't think I was going to get in, and you know, usually leaving is pretty easy and clear. It took me an hour and a half to get out of town.
Yeah, I'm baffled. I mean, it's like there's 50,000 extra people in Asheville since the storm. I do know there are a lot of people who are working, but you know, most of them are in trucks. And what I'm just seeing is regular old cars.
Yeah, this was cars, and I can see a lot of sightseers too.
Yeah, that racks my nerves every time I come and go from my neighborhood up here, because we're a photo bucket up here at disaster, and you know they'll just come to a stop in the middle of the road and start clicking pictures with their phone, and you know I'd love to. You can't rear end them and then blame them for it.
I used to live in a town of 1,000 people, and it was a little tiny town. And we had a tornado come through one time and tore a bunch of stuff up. And you know, next morning it wasn't too bad, but that second morning, man, it took me, I think it was 35, 40 minutes just to drive across town. And that was a normal 2-minute trip.
You know, that is one thing that you could say brings, and it obviously does, it's big business and tourism. It's leaf season, you know, but honestly, the leaves are all but gone here. I mean, this was not really a pretty year because the storm took, you know, we had June, we had a ton of rain. They say the rain affects the leaf color, but, you know, this year, like when that storm passed through, hell, it took a bunch of the leaves with it.
You know, we noticed when my wife went to the doctor up there the other day, you could start telling the difference probably up there around Morganton. You could start telling the leaves had been blown off the trees.
Last year, I never saw any light behind my house. It was just dark wood. You know, I got about probably 150 yards of open ground that is part, you know, the creek back in Deep Creek Creek, and the cattle are back there, and then there's just this heavy, you know, it's a floodplain, so there's a ton of, you know, hardwoods, and anyway, I'm telling you, just these last couple of 10 days, 2 weeks, now I see lights back there, and they're about a half a mile back, and it has to be the fact that all the number of trees and leaves and stuff like that are gone.
Yeah, here they started changing colors, and it seemed like the next day they had all fallen off.
Yeah, and what I noticed was they were brown. There wasn't a lot of reds and not many golds. I tried to take a couple pictures just for my sister and my mom. They like to see them, but it really wasn't a good year for it.
You know, one good thing about the eastern deciduous forest is that you can cut it all down, and in 100 years it'll be back.
I know, but it's the wildlife too. You know, like the pileated woodpecker. They just it's hard to find them where it's not like a bog or what do you call it, a low lying heavy wooded, you know, deciduous trees. There's a word I can't find. It's not old. What is something that it references old wood?
Just old growth. They talk about old growth.
Yeah.
That's the problem out there when they cut down those redwoods. I mean, most things are 1,000 years old, but these eastern forests are not that way. You got primary succession, secondary succession. It takes about 100 years and be right back the way it was.
Well, you know what though, Randy, and I kind of want to disagree with you on that, but I don't have my facts, so I won't. But, you know, the fact is the Appalachian Mountains are some of the oldest mountains on the planet.
Yeah, I understand that, but every bit of it's been timbered. The whole eastern deciduous forest has been timbered. Only that's the thing about Joyce Kilmer. Joyce Kilmer's one of the only old growth forests left in the entire eastern United States. They timbered every bit of it.
Well, what about all the national parks?
Well, they were timbered before they were national parks. You take up there and like that Bob Marshall Wilderness that I hunt in, all those original, the big, what do they call those western Douglas firs, I guess. They cut all of them down, made railroad ties out of them. I mean, that's just the whole freaking country is amazing that they were able to do it with basically crosscut saws, axes, or whatever. But a whole lot of it was cleared for farmland, and then whatever wasn't cleared for farmland was timbered off. But I guarantee you, whatever Marty's cutting's been timbered at least once before. That's true. It was actually the dominant tree. Hey, Barry, well, I mean, at least it was, you Kevin, I'm sorry. Are you Barry or Kevin? Yeah, the hardwood forest now is oak hickory. It used to be chestnut. If you'll do some searches online, they're trying to come up with some hybrids. You know, you can plant those Chinese chestnuts and they'll do okay with that. And they're trying to develop some hybrids that are immune to that blight. K40 H40. K4 Candy,
you know, I saw a thing on that because I got a Chinese chestnut that they plant up on my plant here at this house. You know, before a long time before we got into it. And the chestnut the size of America knows that that tree is back there. Believe it or not. But you know, they said that the American chestnut, there was more of them trees all on the southeast United States than all the other tree species put together.
Oh, yeah. would mill them, and they call them what they call wormy chestnut. And he went up there and he tore a barn down that was made out of chestnut. And then he took all that lumber out of that barn and he planed it and made furniture out of it.
It's kind of amazing there was more in trees and all the other species put together. That's the first tree.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was the entire canopy. I started to plant a couple around here, just some of those that they're trying to make it are sort of like a hybrid. There's still a few American chestnuts left that are out of the range and out of their normal range, and they never got exposed to that blight. There are a few around.
Well, you know, when I tried to start figuring out what kind of trees these were out here, because this thing was spitting all these things, you know, the chestnuts. I mean, they're all over the ground. And I never seen one. I'm like, what the heck is this? So I looked it up, and the Chestnut Tree Society of America. Well, it's a big organization, and so I called them because I thought that's what it was, and I was thinking maybe this thing the blight ain't got it. But when I started explaining to the one I was talking to at the Chestnut Society where I was at, she just started rattling off my address, and I said, yeah, that's my address. She said, yeah, we know that. That's the guy. I didn't know about this tree. That was wild.
How about that? Have you ever tried to eat one of them?
No, I haven't. But there's a bunch of, I mean, it spits them off, well, I'm telling you, man. The ground will be covered with them. So I'm going to ship some of them to Robert Dale. He said we might want to roast some chestnuts,
Yeah, I don't know whether they taste the same as American chestnut or not.
The real question is who eats chestnuts?
I don't know. The only ones I've ever seen, they had one up there at school where I went to school. They had one up there across from the biology building. It's a pretty tree, but they don't get nothing like as big as a American chestnut.
I would go out on a limb and say that I've probably never eaten one of them.
No, I ain't. I've eaten a few hickory nuts, but had lame squirrels get them. They get up there and cut them off before they even fall off the tree. That old man used to come and pick my walnut and take them home and put them in his driveway and run over them with his car. You know, get that old green black part off. Get all the meat out of them walnuts. I'm like, that's lame. That's more work than you get out of them.
Yeah, well, I can tell you what, I ain't got no shortage of around here. And never even saw one where I grew up at, which is ain't about 18 miles of the close lines from here. It's just totally different over there. In the same county, Durham County, but there's black walnuts. I mean, I can't hardly walk around the yard out there. It's like walking on marble.
Oh, I got one out there about, I had to blow them out of my driveway because if you run over them, and those, believe it or not, those pits, they won't bust the pits, and you'll end up with a mud hole.
That's all I've got. And they turn, at some point after they fall, those things it's like mine are the giant, the black walnut. They're like almost as big as they're bigger than a golf ball, but they're a little smaller than a tennis ball, but it's almost like they start rotting and it turns into ink. And everywhere that you bust one, if you drive over them, you got a permanent black spot on whatever. It's in my grass too. It looks terrible.
Yep, the first year we was here, I didn't know about them. And I was getting them up and handling them without gloves, and that blackness got all over my hands. And let me tell you something. It took me, you can wash them all you want to. It took me 2 months for that net to wear off my hands.
Yeah, I hate it. I mean, that also ruined a lot of the gravel work I did in my driveway because the tree overhangs it. And when I ran over the nuts, you know, once you've flattered it, now you're talking about a round black spot bigger than a softball.
I know it.
Well, I have to push mow with the size of my driveway. I don't have to, but I do because it's the angle. It's just hard to mow it clean with a riding mower. And you twist your ankle if you step on one of them things if you ain't careful.
Oh, yeah.
Well, part of my walking trail up there at the upper end of the waterway is a big old white oak up there. And right now, trying to walk down through there is like you're walking on a bed of marbles. And you know, by springtime, they'll all be gone.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. The squirrels towed them off, or they seemed to all get gone. The first year I was going to sell them, but that ain't it ain't no use, man, because it's just too hard to get the meat out of them. But man, I'm one tree. Shit, man, I got like probably 13, 14 of them all around my head.
Yeah, the deer eat them, and the turkeys eat them. You know, I never killed but one turkey, but I killed a big old gobbler here a few years back when they had a winter season. For a couple of years. His craw was absolutely full of acorns, and some of them that's like maybe as big as quarters. It's hard to believe that their craw is crunching things up. They do.
Them people back in 1800s, all this mess we let lay around the ground and talk about like it's a nuisance. They was collecting all this stuff and making good of it. They was eating stuff.
I tell you what, if you can eat it, I'm sure there's nutrition in it. You could probably make money off of it if you absolutely had to. But acorns about one of the awfulest tasting things I've ever bit into.
I wonder did they used to do anything with acorns?
Yeah, I think the Indians scrambled them up, probably, you know, some kind of rock kind of thing. You know, just beat them into some kind of a pulp and made like a Don't you remember, do you ever watch that movie, Jeremiah Johnson?
Yeah.
That woman cooked those panties for me.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's Jeremiah. Well, I guess it was, maybe. It was one of them. It was either Jeremiah Johnson or Outlaw Joseph Wells, but one of them, an Indian woman cooked him something.
Yeah, it was, I'm pretty sure it was Jeremiah Johnson, yeah.
Yeah, he stuck that thing in his pocket.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, it was.
It's one of the movies I remember. I don't know what year that was. It had to have been about, 1970, 71?
Paying for it, at 50.
Yeah.
You know, they showed that thing in the Carolina Theater in Greensboro, and the Carolina Theater's been closed for, God, it's got to be 40 years at least, but that was one of them old-timey theaters where you had a balcony. You could go upstairs, had a balcony up in the top part. And they had a chandelier in the middle of that theater that must have been 10 foot in diameter and probably 10 or 15 feet tall. Big old big old chandelier in there.
Yeah.
There was like three theaters in downtown Greensboro, and of course they're all gone. Be afraid to go down there at night anymore.
No, man. You don't want to go down in Durham at night anymore.
Nah. Yeah, I tell you, eastern part of Durham's just rough. It's bad enough in the daytime.
And that's where I grew up at, eastern Durham County. You know, we was way out in the sticks, but yeah, it was always the worst part of town.
Yeah, it's Greensboro, same way. Eastern part of Greensboro's. Well, really down there off of Lee Street, they got what they call the Hill. And me and a boy that used to work for Industrial Electrics, he actually ended up being a Greensboro policeman. That's what he always wanted to be, but he worked for Industrial Electrics, and he had a gray Chevrolet Caprice that looked just like an undercover police car. And we used to ride down through the hill just to watch them run. They'd see that gray car, and a couple boys be sitting there talking, handing the drugs to each other, money, exchanging money, and see us and take off running back behind the house.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, now you do something like that now, they'd be shooting at you.
Probably.
Running off like sprayed roaches.
Yeah.
We used to do stuff to our local cop that would get us put in prison forever.
That's funny, Reuben. We did the same thing. There was an old man, he was a retired either city or sheriff or whatever, but one of the subdivisions that I grew up near, they paid him to patrol at night, but he would end up sleeping, and we would do stuff to his car while he'd be in there asleep.
I thought we was the only person that did stuff.
No, that was a lot of fun. The chance. But I think even if he woke up, he couldn't have caught us. We were a bunch of young and healthy. We could run like rabbits.
No, we didn't do anything like they did, like was in, what was that, Steven, that movie, where they tied the police car's rear end to a post or something. He ain't know anything about what was it.
American Graffiti?
Yeah, American Graffiti.
That's a classic. I love that movie.
You talk about that cherry bombs, and my buddy, he would actually walk up behind it, roll them cherry bombs up under there, and then take off running.
Guy in the neighborhood here, I don't know exactly what was wrong with him. He could do anything, but he never did nothing. Had a dairy farm that went caused death, left two probably 400 acres just given to him, and he never done nothing with it. And anyhow, Ray Dixon, a neighbor of mine, got married, and he parked his car down there at the church up around this oak tree. He went down there and he took a log chain and run it around that oak tree and welded it to the axle underneath his car.
Oh, man.
He was a hell of a welder. Heck, he welded for the pipeline. When Plantation Pipeline came through here, he welded for them for a while. Well, welded those pipes together. Well, he could do anything. Hey, Rob Dale.
Come on, Robert Dale.
Hey, Robbie Dale, did I tell you that boy gave me $250 for welding that little bolt into his mowing deck?
No, but that's a good deal for you.
I know what I told him. I said, Dad, blame. I figured he'd give me a bottle of whiskey or something.
That's cheaper than a shop would have charged him to do it.
Well, he took it to a shop, and they said they couldn't fix it. And I'm like, the hell?
That's par for the course, man. It's just pitiful out here, man.
Well, they sold him a brand new Bobcat. I don't know how much he give for it. Probably, what, 12,000 now? Probably. That's what this John Deere was.
12,000 for a Bobcat? Was it brand new? No, it must have been mighty small. Must have been what was it, one that walked behind one?
Well, I don't know how much they are now, to be honest with you.
God almighty, man, do you know how much the biggest zero turns that Kubota sells now? Do you know how much one of them things costs? I mean, I think they're about $35,000.
Good Lord. I've had that Toro of mine since 2004, and I ain't never had no problems with it to match anything.
I tell you, those guys are making a killing up here right now. These fellas that own those little Bobcats, skid steers.
Oh, yeah.
That and house construction and remodeling people. That's what I'm seeing every day now. The dump trucks, the numbers have cut back significantly. They probably will. I don't keep up with it anymore.
It's up to 102. They've, for whatever reason, they've decided to just make an announcement on twice a week. But as of yesterday, it was up to 102.
Hey, y'all, I'm gonna take off here for a little bit. Y'all have a good day. Have fun with it. I'll talk to y'all later. K4 Candy.
All right, see you, Ken.
Nice, Ken.
I'm gonna go 20 meters right quick, see if one of my boys there.
Truck every day, you can go out there and sit in it.
No, I ain't gonna do that, Ruben.
Okay, good.
Hey, Robbie Dale, I'm on Bruce's amp. Yeah, fix that part of the timer ain't working right, though. The timer. It's, that same circuit supplies the power to that 555. And I'm going to order a couple of them, stick another one in, and it may be probably got to be fast, too, if it charges up. Put that chip in there without taking it out, but if it's anything else, I ain't taking that board back out. What's that? Oh, okay. Well, that's what was wrong with that amp of Burlington Charles, and I don't know whether you ever looked at that, band switch for that TL922, but the main power band switch that's behind the tuned input band switch, and I couldn't figure out any way to fix it, even if you could get it out. And I don't think you can buy the part, so I just tuned input on 75 meters, and that's it. not touching, not making contact. Ain't no way you can like turn it off. This one, I mean, it is a bear to get it out. The problem with it is, you know, it's got screws that go all the way through on standoffs, and then it's got those little plastic wraparound things that your screws got to go through. And you can't get your hands out of there. Dumping AC on that regulator and that chip both. So I know it's still the regulator. I had to put another regulator in it. Yeah. Well, after I replaced the capacitors, I was putting 26 volts into the input of that regulator and get like 16 out. Replaced it and get putting 26 into it and get 11.91 out. Yeah. Yeah. And it probably did that, hopefully it did the chip the same way, because I think I can get that chip in and out easy enough. They have famous last words. I ain't sure exactly how that timer works, but I think there's another capacitor involved with that. Should have changed it out when I changed the other two out, but it didn't. Ain't much. What is it, 10 volts or something, 25? volts and putting 48 in it. I don't know how much headroom you got on those things, but chips and just maybe 2 or 3 of them, have an extra one and just replace it. Like I say, if that don't fix it, he just gonna have to, like I say, look at his watch. Ask Greg, you know, he helped me so much with the rest of it, I didn't want to overburden him.
No, go ahead. What is it? I drove up to your house, knocked on the door, and you didn't answer.
He said he's 3 weeks behind. Bench.
It's supposed to do that.
Well, when you fix stuff fast as you do, you get, you don't get behind. Some kind of wildlife reserve or something? Thinking up here, it's what, 300 yards from the house? Yeah, I think that's what it is. Well, I guess unless it's your own house. There was an albino deer over here at the farm that I used to hunt on. And you could walk up on that deer and get down the end of it. There's that blind. They can't see. And you could get up, and I've been within 30 or courtyards of that deer 2 or 3 times. And it was a guy that lived across the road. His son went over there and killed that albino deer. And that woman that owned that place, she went up there and just his ass told him, "You are an evil person." And the place was toasted. And I mean, they called the sheriff and everything. And when it all was all said and done, they didn't do nothing for him. People kill those albino deer, and they're very proud of it. I'm like, what the hell, you shooting a blind deer? Sees y'all every day.
Well, that afternoon I rode the four-wheeler all the way up in the back back there. And, you know, boy, if I told him, you just turn around and look at me and run down that road.
Yeah. There was one here in the backyard yesterday. I come out and let the dog out about 5 o'clock. So take some PT and all that deer sitting all up through there just wide open. And you cannot catch that deer. He was gone for a pretty good while. The next thing you know, here he comes walking back up with a squirrel in his mouth. So he caught another squirrel. Yeah. I'd rather he not kill them, but hell, I've killed many of them, so I can't say nothing.
You think they'd be faster,
He's killed 4 that I know of. If he catches them out in the open, they're just dead. Yeah, I don't know where he got this one at, but I've seen one of the first ones that he killed. He tried to cross from some trees and get back down to the upper end of the creek, and he had to cover about 50 yards, and he just couldn't do it. That dog called him. Well, what he does is he takes his paw and just slaps him over with his paw and gets him rolling, and then he just picks him up and shakes him like a cat. I tell you, it's still warm. It's just really warm. You know, kind of late. We had a couple of them frosts, but they didn't really hurt nothing. I wouldn't until you lose one. With this thing yesterday afternoon, about 2 o'clock, about 2 o'clock. I came in here and I was tuning it with a pecker, and I ID'd, and Roger come in and said, "You get that thing fixed?" And it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and he was like F9. I don't know. I know they do maybe 4 or 5, but it's like 2 o'clock. Just fine. Yeah. They starting to get in a little bit lunchtime. Hey, JJ's feeling better since they put that shot in his back. Home yet or not. biologic hunting, all that is, but from now on, they'll be free. Yeah. It turned 70 years old. Of course, first one, the price basically cut in half, and then after that, you got a free license, lifetime license.
I thought 62, you know, but he was $9 when you get that hard copy. Like driving license. $54. That's what I would cost to get sale. I don't do it. I don't do it. I would get back to buying it. I like to get it for that.
Well, I don't hunt. I ain't hunted in years, but the license that I buy is, I forget what they call it, but it also includes that $15 fishing permit. You got to pay $15 to have fishing the dirt.
Mine covers saltwater fishing and freshwater fishing.
Yeah, well, that's what they just does. It's big hunting, big game, fishing, and coastal fishing permit or whatever, all in one. It was like $69 or something like that.
What?
Well, let me see what this one says.
Mine says senior lifetime license, big game permit, freshwater fishing, saltwater fishing, net hook permit, state hunting, state waterfowl, and WMA permit.
What they call it in North Carolina is Unified Senior Sportsman Coastal Fishing. And it includes HIP certification, whatever that is, Big Game Harvest Report Card, Unified Sportsman Coastal Fishing, CRFL, and then it says Unified Senior Sportsman Coastal Fishing, and the expiration on it is NA. In other words, it don't expire. No, it don't expire. Over on the expiration date for the one before, it expired on 9/10/2024. And then this one's the Senior Sportsman Coastal Unified, blah, 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 effective 8/21/24, and there's no expiration. Yeah. I have. Last done today cost me $1,400. That's fine. Been down on one of them steel shots and broke one of them that deep in half and had to have a root canal and a crack. That's the last duck I ate. Came for a age. I take them things and put them in a soft box and just keep them off and cook them for a couple of days. And then just take it out and the meat pretty much fall apart and just put it on a bed of rice. And it was really good, but you know, I've been down on lead shot 2 or 3 times in my life, but you bite down on that steel shot, it don't give at all. Yeah, but just don't. Be real careful with steel shot. I'm going to get out here and go walk my dog and get that over with and watch the Sunday news, see what the talking heads has got to say, and I will catch y'all subsequently. K4AH.
Hey, dude. Cannonball. Fire. Filipino. Hell. Dude, I might well go in to the news and eat breakfast. That's me. Hey, man, I didn't barely hear you, but good morning to you, sir. I didn't exactly get that, but I got a bunch of noise this morning. It's been real quiet for the last month, but by grace, this morning it's real noisy. I'm having a tough time hearing everything you say. First come in there, you were loud, but you went down in noise then. When I say loud, you was above the noise. It wasn't meant to be. You got to get that amplifier going all the way fast. Amplificator. Johnny Carson's up.
A little like clicky thing, I guess we can call it. We've just been really passionate talking about the, what you guys were just talking about, right? So we got a little powwow going.